Don't get me started.
Don't get me started. Oh, shut your mouth. Hey.
We were doing a point, were we?
I just figured
I
I'd
like
point.
it. It's a nice aggressive point.
Yeah, you. Go fuck yourself. Do you know what? Sometimes I used to have a T-shirt, Jeremy, that said when I was a teacher, that said I only want to kill one of them as an example to all the others.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know, which is a.
I think that applies here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, I tell one of you to go fuck yourself to keep the rest of you in line. Hannah, go fuck yourself. Just happened to be the first person I saw.
Yep.
I'm sure that will be the moment when she's let her mum and dad see the show or whatever. I know they've seen it before, but she's like, look, Uncle Alex is on. Go fuck yourself, Hannah. You're never watching this again. Welcome in, everybody.
Hello. Hopefully things will go a bit smoother this week because we've reverted to how it used to be in streaming in 1080p with stuff that works. And yeah. What the fuck? Did this start early? No. Time evaporated.
Slips by irrevocably. That's time for you.
The time is high, and I'm moving on. You're a bit quiet. Yeah, well, deal with it. Turn your volume up.
Also, where's my go live notification? God, we don't know. Hey, did we change anything? Did you do a thing?
Should have come through. I did do the stream.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
We have loads of things
10
to
minutes
do.
ago.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But welcoming everybody to this, I believe, actually, it's the 120th episode.
120!
Hey!
That's what they do, isn't it?
In darts, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? When me and Duncan used to play darts, he'd be like, Duncan, you require 40. And it doesn't matter what it is. It's such a great thing to say. Jeremy, you require 40.
I don't. I've already won. Fuck you. Thank you very much for the bit as well. Much appreciated.
Yes, welcoming everybody to this, the 120th episode. And I'm Alex. This is Jez. You probably know that if you come here all the time.
Let's throw up the super defined nameplates again. Because I upscaled them for 4K.
Nice.
I'm like, hey, they look much better anyway. Let's just use the 4K ones anyway.
Yes.
So there you go.
This is Don't Get Me Started, the rantiest show on Twitch.
Bona fide rantiest. You ain't finding rantier, let me tell you. There's nothing you can do to find a rantier show.
Nothing you can do. Yeah, in fact I went around, I searched Twitch for
the research.
I did. And everything else is shit. It's like an absolute wasteland out there. I'm so glad you're here with us. And I'm just going to tell you that, don't go looking. There's nowhere else.
Like, we'll save you the effort. There isn't anywhere else. Just...
Have you heard there's another streaming service called Kick?
I have heard that, yes.
Have you heard anything about it? Because I heard something.
Positive or negative?
I heard something negative.
I've only heard positive things about it so
really?
far. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I would say, when you consider negatives, bear in mind that the powers that be of all the other streaming services are very much trying to neg it out because it's run by not a massive corporation and the revenue share on it is like 95%.
That's what they've done. They've gone
thing. So it's like, yeah, Twitch are like, oh my God, people might actually use that because it's clearly more fair and not all money going to Bezos. So let's say it's shit or something and hope that people listen to us.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
What did you hear though?
I heard it was shit.
Yeah.
But actually, I can't remember exactly what I heard, but I heard from an independent YouTuber that actually the independent YouTuber report was it's all pretty bad. It's a bit of barren wasteland anyway, and no one's nailing it. So basically,
yeah, that's it. If they combined all of the streaming services, they'd have a fucking amazing streaming service. But
I think what it was that it's run by a gambling site. So it's all the people that run Kick are a gambling company. Like Paddy Power or something like that.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
So as a result,
there's a lot of gambling really involvement in it. But whatever, you don't gamble then.
Don't gamble.
Just if you don't want to gamble, don't gamble.
But anyway, we're here and you're here. Thank you very much.
We are here. Yeah, I may investigate Kick, but I'm not sure that. Don't Get Me Started will find a home on Kick. It's very much a gaming streaming thing.
Yeah.
And as you can see. much to Ali's chagrin, we are not currently gaming. Although in that, if I might bring in a premature happulation, if you will,
please do.
I apparently will soon be getting my PlayStation 2 back, fully working, upgraded, and ready to not play
Rumble.
GTA 3 to fuck off Ali. Oh, he's here. Hello, Ali.
Ali is here. There
you go. Yeah.
Later on, we'll be doing This Is Happening, so you can get your haps and your naps in with using the channel point redemptions. Haps are good things, naps are bad things. You can also suggest anything you want to put in the sea using the channel point redemptions. If you've got something you want to put in the sea, something you want to throw from this island that you hate, feel free to drop that in.
Yeah. We full disclosure, we haven't really got a structure for this. We're just going to play the hits and see what sticks.
Yeah.
Because we've been more focused on getting it to work again.
That's true.
Yeah.
There are lots of haps and naps coming in. Can they also put in the confessions? How's that working? Can they add a confession?
You can add a confession. I can't read them in between the shows. But exclamation confess if you would like the Google form to submit a confession.
I don't know if we have any on that.
We don't have any confessions as it stands, but we do have a sting for it. Whenever we are...
Do we?
We do. I made the sting. It's ready to go.
Oh, you super kept that quiet, because normally when you come around for something, you're like, Alex, I've made a sting. Do you want to see it now, or do you want to see it at the time?
I did tell you were on your phone.
Oh. Well, that was my fault. Was I on my phone trying to do something?
I don't know. I couldn't see
what
your screen.
Well, I'm glad you got it.
Could have been on porn as far as I was
It
concerned.
was not.
Yeah.
I wish it was.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to see it, even though we're not going to do it? Do you want to see the sting?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Here we go. Here is the segment that we like to call confessions, but we're not fucking doing it.
It's a your confession!
And that's it.
I mean, it's... apparently it's quite loud.
It's quite loud.
Because something else is loud that we do. I think I tried to send you a thing. Don't get me started. Ow, my freaking ears! Okay, I think the report is that is loud.
Is it loud?
Press it again.
So if I were to do it again, it was just...
It's a your confession!
It's not loud. It was
Listen,
firmly in the yellow.
Rock is rock. If you can't handle it, if you can't stand the noise, get out the speaker.
It's a your confession!
Fuck yes. My confession is we keep relentlessly pressing the confession button.
These guys don't want fans. I do need a fan. It's becoming the summer.
Oh
yeah.
shit! Got to put the fan on.
I enjoyed that a bit too much. That was a bit too fun for me.
Metallica for the win.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
what do you want to do? Hey, listen. It's Easter coming up. Isn't that wonderful?
it is. Yeah, it's Easter this weekend, and I've got to sort something out for the child. She's got chocolate, but apparently nowadays just having the chocolate isn't quite good enough. You have to do trails and shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Chocolate trails.
Yeah, like a treasure hunty type thing. You can't just go, here is your Easter egg. Thanks, Dad.
You have to make them work for their egg.
Make them work for their egg and pretend it's from the Easter Bunny and stuff. So, yeah.
Do you know what? I'm surprised that the Catholic Church hasn't really got into Easter as much as...
You're surprised the Catholic Church hasn't got into something that isn't the Catholic Church? Is that what you're saying?
What I mean is, the Easter Bunny is not a Christian or Catholic thing. It's just a made-up...
He's not even been confirmed, the Easter Bunny.
No. What I'm saying is, the distribution of eggs, I think, is a kind of a pagan thing.
It's pagan, yes. Yeah,
so what I think is, given that the Catholic Church probably, and other churches, probably...
fuck the pagans! Burn them at the stake!
Took everything else, why haven't they got a myth of the creation of, the egg distribution?
And on the fifth day, God created the egg and distributed them amongst the bunnies who
right?
turned them into chocolate.
That's what I'm saying.
Amen.
We don't get anything like...
That's how the Church of Jez works. Just thrown out there.
Oh, yeah. Church of Jez.
Yeah.
Feet are wrong.
Feet are wrong.
How does the Church of Jez have a view on Easter eggs and whether,
They are fine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to eat many of them, but you're welcome to them.
That's nice.
I will take half an Easter egg. I will fill it with milk, and I will drink milk from it because I enjoy that.
I just think
have.
maybe there should have been a parable somewhere in the Gospels where Jesus just turns up to the apostles' house and Jesus had been in their houses for some time. What are you doing in there, my lord? Nothing. Stay outside for a bit, said Jesus. And then he did invite them all in.
The disciples were welcomed into the property.
Nothing has changed.
Upon whence they were delivered a map and a set of clues.
Oh, hasn't it? Said Jesus.
Go
Look
forth,
closer.
my children. Amongst you are eggs delivered by cute as fuck bunny.
But Thomas doubted that there were any eggs in the property at all. Oh, ye of little faith.
Fuck's sake, Thomas, not this shit again.
Said
Jesus H. Christ. My lord, did you just take your own name in vain? Shut up, Pontius Pilate, you cunt.
What are you doing here, Pilate? You're not meant to turn up for another 3 days. Oh my God, it would be brilliant. And Peter denied there are eggs a third time.
We should probably write a Bible.
Hey, listen, it's so easy.
Yeah, no. Has anyone ever done that?
No.
Like, the gospel according to twats.
Yeah, well, that's just Facebook, right? I suppose. But I mean, here's the thing.
When you're right, you're right.
3 different writers wrote the same account, largely. So the Bible's a bit of a rip-off, really, because
And
Matthew, Mark, and Luke are basically the same.
And Beyonce's Single Ladies had 37 writers. So between the two of us, I reckon we can write a fucking kick-ass Bible.
I think we could. I think even I could do the Gospel according to Alex is just another version of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, but I take out some bits and add in.
And just put in a few swears and stuff. Yeah. The Gospel according to DGMS, exactly. Yeah.
I just... I'm trying to... Premature Pontius Pilatification. Yes.
Yeah. If you can't tell, I can't remember the story very well.
That's okay. You got it. You pretty much got it.
I knew he was one of the other characters, and I couldn't remember another disciple's name, so go fuck yourself.
John's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, they're all pretty standard names, really, aren't they? Should have just gone with, Peter. Is he one of them?
Peter is one.
Old Pete. Good old Pete. Is Pete the feet washy dude?
I think they all got their feet washed at one point or another.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Although feet
well,
are wrong.
James is son of Zebedee. Zebedee is the dad of James. But Zebedee doesn't show up anymore. Zebedee's a great
I didn't know that Zebedee was like a religious character. I thought he was one of the tugs in Tugs.
Jesus came past one day to a house of, I think, James and John, or James's house at the very least, and said, "Can James come out to play?" And James's dad Zebedee went, "Okay, but don't go taking him down to the lake or anything like that." He's like, "I won't." And then they hung out. So Zebedee doesn't show up much more, other than just to be... I don't know why I'm getting into it.
Isn't Zebedee also a giant fluffy dog from the Magic Roundabout?
He's a kind of mustachioed Jack in the
that
Box.
one. Yeah.
That bounces around on a spring. And
Knowledge I don't have today. Disciples and the Magic Roundabout.
I'm just saying we need to work chocolate eggs into the Bible.
And it won't be that difficult.
It won't.
There's some shit you can definitely cut from the Bible to get the eggs in there as well.
Yeah.
Honestly. Pretty much all the Moses stuff. Just get that fucking shit out there.
It's all kind of a lot of nonsense, really, because in Matthew's gospel, he kind of... You can't put made up stuff into the Bible. You can. You literally can.
It's a Bible. You do what you want.
On Palm Sunday, Jesus rides in on a donkey into Jerusalem, and he rides in on a donkey, and that's what he does. He's sitting on a donkey.
Little donkey.
A different donkey to the little donkey. He might have grown up. Maybe it's a bigger donkey now.
Oh, is that the donkey from taking Mary to the?
Yeah. They're 2 donkeys.
Yeah.
And I've got to move on.
I don't know.
It might be the same
how
thing.
long
He might
does
have
a
grown
donkey live? If it's a little donkey, then maybe it's a giant ass fucking donkey by the time.
I don't know, but there's 30 years between Jesus.
It's the family donkey, Alex. You won't convince me otherwise.
Don donkey, donkey. No, it was the Don donkey that he rode into this. Honestly, if my
it writes itself,
it does.
Mm.
Basically, this is super religious nerdy, but Matthew was writing for a very Greek audience, so he often go back to the Old Testament to find some shit that he could grab from the Old Testament to shove in to the New Testament. He wasn't calling it the New Testament, but it took old stuff to kind of placate the churches he was writing
They must
to.
have known it was the New Testament, though, because they already had a testament.
That's true.
So,
But they
what
didn't,
else
I don't
were
think they
gonna
knew
call
they were
it?
writing it at that point, really. They didn't know it was going to be published. They were like, let's keep writing it down. But at any rate, I'm not going to get into it. But essentially, a lot of the stuff, because it's an oral tradition, a lot of stuff gets repeated in the Old Testament. So they say one thing, and then that thing they would say, and so they'd say one thing, and then they'd say it a different way.
It's a bit like word of mouth, isn't it?
Yes.
Like you tell someone a story, and then you go off somewhere, and then someone retells your own story to you. It's like, mate, it's my story.
Yeah, I
Fuck.
told you that.
Yeah.
That's what happens with Captain Brilliant. I almost called him Uncle Brilliant. Uncle Brilliant. Uncle Brilliant.
I mean, he hasn't done anything on stream for a while, so maybe he has lost his title. Maybe he's just Uncle Brilliant.
Maybe, yeah. Dishonorably discharged, which is every discharge that comes out petty. Yeah. No, and the point of this story was that in all the other Gospels, they have Jesus riding in on one donkey, and Matthew went back, checked notes, and went, according to this, they say it twice. That means Jesus must have come in on 2 donkeys, like 1 foot on one and 1 foot on another.
Oh,
So-
yeah, I do remember there
so
being like 2 donkeys or something.
Matthew's just like, we probably need 2.
I see your donkey, and I
Oh,
raise you a
another
second donkey.
So in this image, riding into Jerusalem, he's like Ben-Hur with a fucking chariot, just kind of just like manhandling these donkeys.
So how many donkeys are there going to be in your Bible?
It's going to be a royal donkey rumble, and every 2 minutes a new donkey will come into Jerusalem.
Beautiful, beautiful.
It's going to be amazing. And they'll throw each other over the top rope. It's going to be incredible.
Sounds good.
Incredible.
Already better than WrestleMania Night 2.
We watched WrestleMania, didn't we? That was great. Well, the first
Half
night
of it was.
Half of it was good.
Night 1, fantastic. Arguably one of the best WrestleManias of all time. Night 2, that happened.
Oh.
Yeah. But if you would like to hear full thoughts on WrestleMania, you can check out the Main Event podcast at jazzsports.com.
Me and me and your old father sat up and watched the first night. Well,
That was the one to watch, though. At least you did that. Imagine how fucked off you'd have been if you'd have stayed up to watch Night 1 and be like, mate, this is amazing. I must share this experience with Tom tomorrow. And then Night 2, like, should we just both kill ourselves live on Discord right now?
sometimes when I'm doing the but I apologize if I don't read something out from the chat because A, it's quite far away and small, and sometimes I don't notice things as we go through it. And when
We notice later, though.
When I'm editing it later, I think, oh god, that's so funny. The things you've said that I see later, I'm like, oh god, that's a fucking.
But mainly the
crack.
chat exists for you to amuse each other.
Please
so
amuse each
have at
other.
it. Yeah.
Anyway. Easter eggs are great as long as they don't contain beans. I'm making no
Seems
promises.
like you're spoiling Easter eggs by removing the beans there. Yeah. Yeah. Knock knock, says James. Doesn't really work over Twitch.
Who's there?
Waits for reply.
I can wait. Shall we just quickly ask? I've got a question to ask you because I'm going to do it now.
Okay.
Is this the person that you think is not Anna Torv?
Is this not Anna Torv? I can't see. You need to click on the screen.
Hold on. Yeah. Sorry. I thought
That one. That's it. Right. There's a problem here, Alex.
Word life.
You've presented me an empty picture. There's no one there.
I can't see anyone. I literally can't see anybody.
I couldn't tell you if that's Anna Torv or not because it's an empty photo. There's no one.
Well,
there. So
in which case,
I'm going to say it's not Anna Torv. It's not Anna Torv.
Ah, well.
So maybe you're quiet and the stings are normal volume.
Well, how do we sound?
Let's pump up our gain then, shall we?
Pump up the gain. Pump it up. Now our stream is pumping.
I did that while you were talking.
And the stings are jumping.
Could you not see him? Right, how's that? The only problem is then that should be the same level as everything else, but the only problem is if we get loud. So let us know. Well, stop putting your hand up and just talk. Excuse me, I have something to say. Please, listen to me. Now try a sting. Okay, I'll try a sting. Hunt you down without mercy!
Please, the stings, they need to be like 25% of what they are. Fruit bat's got a back. He's got a fruit back.
Fruit back. Beat me to it.
Oh,
That's much more reasonable. Okay, good.
thank God we got there.
Right. What's that terrible noise? That's me, mate. I can't do much about that. Sorry. It's just my voice. Prick. I had to point it out, didn't you?
Oh, by the way, I meant to say, what are you doing on Sunday night? Do you want to do the Easter quiz? It's at Chambers.
Ooh.
If you're free.
I might be. The problem is I have no memory. This is why I own a calendar, and I don't have the calendar here. But the Easter quiz sounds like a great idea.
Sunday at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
If you're here, you can come and join us if you live in...
Yeah, because they don't have an upper limit on teams. Do
No.
they? You can have like 16 people in the team. And we did before.
Yeah.
And we won.
We've won it before. There were so many people.
In fact, the last Easter quiz that I did, which was easily 10 years ago, we won. So
We did win it. We had like so many people on our team. And that was one where Smee was arguing about the weight of a Cadbury's cream egg. Or was it?
how many calories were in a Cadbury's cream egg? And he was fucking right. And it was a pivotal point in us winning. And we were
How
like,
did he
mate,
know?
like, how? Where did that come from? You've finally been useful. It's great.
Maybe we'll win nothing again.
Karis, can Jez come out on Saturday? It's Sunday actually, but the question still stands. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Easter's going to be wonderful. Maybe we'll get into that at some point about what we're going to do. But I have no real plans apart from that. So I say go down, drink some cider at the Ale Festival.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know, the Ale and Cider Festival at Chambers will mark the anniversary of our first meeting.
Yes.
That's where we met.
That is where we met.
At the Ale and Cider
So
Festival.
what year would
at
that have
Chambers.
been, do you think?
That was in 2012,
You would have very recently.
I want to say.
Wow.
So, yeah. 11 long years.
Man, if
we've
only
known
we'd have thought
each
about it
other.
last year. We've been 10 years. 10 years! Oh my God, that's crazy.
I'm going to Dungeness after Easter, says James. Why?
It's a barren wasteland down on the marsh there, and the furthest point of
The
that.
rocks make a nice sound, though. Like
Yeah. They're
underfoot.
very crunchy.
That's pretty nice. And there's a train there. Who doesn't like trains?
A train that apparently my brother has driven.
Yes.
Still not got to the bottom of how he got that. I'm gonna have to.
Oh, no,
message
we did
him.
get to the bottom of it. He
Just wants to
has
do it.
he has membership.
He has membership.
He's got
Okay.
membership with them, and
Fuck, is that all it takes?
he's in.
Fuck me.
It's mostly what it takes. I've been learning a lot about membership of railways this week.
Have you?
Yeah, it's part of my YouTube in the shower viewing.
Oh,
I watched a
okay.
documentary about the Talchin Railway, which is a small railway in Wales.
Oh, okay.
And the Reverend Audrey, who wrote Thomas the Tank Engine
yes.
stories, the railway series, basically did what your brother did, joined as a member, and then one day was like, here's some flags, you're the guard, have at it. And so there he was, being a guard and going...
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't know why they're called a guard. Do you know why they're called a guard?
I don't know. Presumably,
Just
there
in case
are
a
times
rabid dog turns up or something.
People
like,
try to-
stay away from my train!
people try to steal things from the train, like the Great Train Robbery. They need
Oh,
guards.
yeah, that's true.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But so much for that shit.
Is a guard actually going to do anything, though? Probably not. People turn up with guns. I'm the guard. Right, well, what are you going to do? Let
Nothing.
you. Probably.
Take as much coal as you want.
Here's my flag.
I was going to say something. I literally can't remember what it was. Do you want to read a thing or something? Or
Read a thing or something. Yeah. I mean, do you want to do this one? You can't see. There's a
Yeah,
tripod
go on.
in
Yeah.
there.
Let's do that.
Okay, fine. Let's segue clunkily, not neatly at all, into the segment we like to call Agony with Alex.
Listen, you'll take my advice and you'll fucking like it.
Listen, you'll accept how loud it is and you'll fucking like it.
I love dishing out advice.
Got to find it now amongst all the paper. There we go. Oh, yes. I remember now. This is a doozy, and I hope you
really?
can help this person. Yeah.
Oh, it's fine. It's all okay. It's okay.
It's fine now.
Everything's good.
Okay, wonderful. Dear Alex,
Hello.
my daughter, Hayley, is in her second year of college. She lives with me and commutes,
Okay.
but was talking about getting an apartment next to the school with a friend, Vicky.
Okay.
Probably not her real name. Vicky has visited a handful of times. The last time, she told me she's a Satanist.
not at all where I thought this was going to go.
So I asked her if she's a member of TST.
Is that a? Didn't they do chasing? Don't go chasing waterfalls.
I'd love to wittily reply, but I can't remember who that
Did
was.
Did they do no scrubs?
It's TLC, isn't it?
It is TLC.
I got there in the end.
TST.
I only know, as Harmstone's got there, I only know TST as Tamsin Standard Time. When she turns up at 3 PM and says good morning, that kind of thing.
Tamsin Standard Time.
So I assume it's like the Satanist turf. That'll do. I was trying to keep the conversation going and be polite, so I used an acronym because everyone likes acronyms, don't they? You massive fucking cunt.
So what did he say? Do you know TST or whatever? What did he say?
So I asked her if she's a member of TST.
Okay.
The Satanist Temple, maybe? Yeah, Temple, says
really?
Harmstone. Yeah.
They're
The
that
church,
organised?
I guess. Yeah, they are that
I
organised.
thought part of the thing about being a Satanist was just the chaos. And it's like, I'm going to turn up. I won't fucking turn up. Maybe I'll be killing someone. Maybe I won't.
Well, hold that thought.
Okay.
I was just trying to keep the conversation going and be polite. She said no because she's a theistic and spiritual Satanist.
They're all theistic, right? Anyway, carry on.
We've always been a Christian family, and I think I could handle my daughter being friends with an atheist Satanist, since it's just atheism anyway. But theistic is a whole different can of worms.
I'm just loving it. Please carry on. I just have so much to unpack here.
It doesn't get less reachy, if that's what you're thinking.
He's not happy that she's spending time with a theistic Satanist. It'd be okay if they didn't believe in anything. At which point they would cease to be believing. Oh, anyway, carry on.
I think you are stumbling across the problem here. I told Hayley that I don't want her hanging around with Vicky anymore. While she hasn't come over again, I think they're still hanging out at school.
Probably.
And after. I questioned her about this, and she blew up at me. I can already tell that Vicky has started to influence her as she's been dressing a little edgy.
What, like the guitarist from U2? Like a little beanie cap and speaking with an Irish accent?
Or perhaps like WWE Hall of Famer Edge.
Mm.
Yeah, like not wearing any tops and just wearing like
a big long leather coat.
Yeah,
a
long leather coat.
Yeah.
She's been dressing a little edgy and in a lot of black,
I love it.
which she didn't before college.
That's what they all do.
I don't want her to move in with Vicky and eventually become a Satanist! ! As of now, though, is it unreasonable of me to tell her who she can't be friends with while she's living under my roof? Any advice on what I should do?
This is a difficult question of the while you're under my roof. Now, I don't have a lot of...
You do have a lot of roofs.
Oh, yeah, plenty of roofs. I've got so many roofs, it's ridiculous.
Mm.
So many roofs. I had to sell a few.
But not so many people under them.
No. I'm one of these people that whenever it says, and how many dependents are there in this house? And I'm like, lol, 0. So as a result, having a child and pining on a child are two different things for me. But I think you're always on dangerous ground, Bob, or whatever your fucking name is, telling your daughter once she's going to college what she can and can't fucking do. That road leads to fucking crazy town. And I would say, just let them have whatever bizarre fucking crazy wacky religions they want. Let them do their thing. It's a fad. It's a passing thing. You'll be fine. But if you start saying now you can't do it, you better believe she's going to do it even more. One surefire way of getting her to do that thing is you just say, you can't do this. Well, that's actually some serious advice. It's not funny in the slightest, but do you know what I mean? It's like, don't do that and don't hang out with that person. Damn it, that's happening. But like, you say roofs. Alex means turrets. They don't actually have Satan-based beliefs. The thing is, I don't know much about Satanism, but you know, the devil is a fallen angel, effectively. So there is a kind of
there is already like a Christianity element
connection to it. So basically, the theism idea, which is saying that it's rooted in God-based stuff, effectively. to say atheism is not to believe in a god. Theism is to believe in a god. The devil isn't a god, but you're still on that turf. So I think it seems like a weird choice. I think a weird mixing up of language on the page.
And Satanism is quite a weird one because it doesn't actually have much basis in Satan. It is mostly just called that as a antithesis to Christianity.
Yeah.
But it does have a lot of the hallmarks that people have forgotten that Christianity is supposed to have, like, you know, the caring for people, love thy neighbor, all that kind of stuff. And then,
I couldn't tell you the first thing about Satanism, really, because I don't know why I would know anything.
I learned a little bit about it when I was doing my PGC because on the course, one of my colleagues was a Satanist, and so I learned about it so that I could take the piss out of them.
It just sounds like...
That's how I roll.
It just sounds ridiculous. It sounds like something that young people do just to fuck off their parents. If I had wanted to rebel and seriously rebel against my parents, I'd have just started...
Satanists would definitely have done it, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a band called Fields of the Nephilim, and they are quite a witchy, satanisty, heavy metal band.
Difficult to say when you've got phlegm type band.
Right, yeah. Fields of Nephilim. And the Nephilim, I think, were in the Bible as some dodgy fucking anti-god types. I can't remember. But my brother Patrick had a Fields of the Nephilim t-shirt. And I'm like, and I saw it one time in his room, and I'm like, oh, mate, you're pushing the fucking boundaries here. If Dad sees you wearing that, he will burn the t-shirt with you in it, mate. You know, there'll be...
Which is obviously very Christian.
You know. I just think the whole thing's kind of faintly ridiculous, but then I think that about all religions. So, you know, I just happen to know more about actual religions. I don't know. I just do. I mean, obviously it's ridiculous, but listen, let them do whatever they want. Let them do anything they want. When I was
Satan in Tron was so scary. I don't want to go anywhere near Satanism.
Satan in Tron? Was Satan in Tron? I don't remember this. I mean, I haven't seen it. You're not the original Tron.
Haven't you?
No.
It's a good film.
Oh.
Wow, a film that I've seen and you haven't.
No, it just passed me by.
That never happens.
It's like my dad would never want me to do a Ouija board. Have you ever done a Ouija board?
No.
My dad would be like, don't, seriously, if I'd ever done one of those now or in the, you know, oh my God.
The problem was, in terms of Ouija boards, like all my friends were doing them, but even like back then, I'm like, this is all bullshit.
Yeah. It's just nonsense.
Like, why am I going to waste my time pushing a fucking glass around a piece of wood when I can just be
playing on a PlayStation,
drinking or watching porn or
reasonable
literally anything else that isn't this bullshit.
Yeah.
Never been into that shit. Never.
I think especially with my dad and a lot of people who are very religious are like, if you're not believing in one thing, you're believing in the other kind of thing. And I just think with this, it's hilarious. You can't listen, mate, Bob, whatever your real name is, you gotta let your kids do what the fuck they want. Just try. But this is fucking harmless, right? This Satanism shit is harmless. Me saying Satanism is harmless is the kind of thing my dad would fucking never. No. It's not harmless.
I'd never even heard of a Ouija board until I saw Charmed, and then I had no idea what it was. We have them in this country. We do. Wales is where I saw them, but if you saw them as well, then yes.
I haven't seen them, but I read one time back, especially when I was a lot younger and more into religion and blah 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 blah, that they were selling them. They'd sell them in Toys R Us or Walmart or something. Like they'd sell them as toys in America. Like, this is just a bit of fun.
I saw them in Toys R Us, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's just a bit of fun. And that concept was like, the fact that it could be a toy, my dad would just be burning down Toys R Us's across America. Just going, I paint my father as a bit of an arsonist. Really? He's not. Those days...
the arson?
Can you imagine? But yeah. No. Don't clip me saying things like my... I can't remember what I was saying. I've got to say it in order to... Anyway.
That Satanism's a bit harmless as well.
Satanism is a bit harmless, really, isn't it?
That's what you said.
I mean, what are you going to do? What's going to happen?
Quote him on that, folks.
Listen, Satanism is harmless. I mean, it's just a bit of fun. Listen, if it encourages more college girls to dress like goths, I'm all for it.
You know, I think that is the winning statement to take away from this.
That's the message.
Yes, all college female students should dress a bit more gothy.
Gothy.
That's definitely my takeaway here.
And I think, see, that's the correct I think the Satanists have it right. So, listen. There's your advice. There's your advice.
Maybe the advice is maybe you should dress. Why am I saying dress? You should dress like a goth too.
Listen, Bob, made up name. Like I just said, if you tell her not to do something, not to hang out with someone, she will do it. But a surefire way of making sure she stops doing it is if you do it too. And say, do you know what? I've never been someone to believe in religion, but if you're so interested in it, maybe it's something I should look into too. And then the next time you see it, it's like, I've been reading up on the internet. I'm clicking on Internet Explorer, and I've learned a lot about Satanism, and now I'd like to become a Satanist too. And the next time you see her, he's in like I don't know, knee-length black fucking
socks with little cats on them.
Yeah, just like dressed all in black, like he's
turned into a little anime goth girl.
Yeah, and she'll be like, "Yeah, I don't want to do this anymore."
That's how you win. Do the thing your kids are doing. That's
Yeah.
how you get them to stop doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is really cool. I love it. Maybe I can come with you. Okay, it's not cool anymore. Boom. Boom. And that's how you do it.
Still don't know what TST is.
TST is
I'm
dynamite.
I win the fight.
Oh, dear. That was fun. That was fun.
I thought you'd like that one.
I did. I loved it. It's a very religious episode today. What with Easter and Gospels and the devil.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, our most popular stuff on TikTok is religion based, so maybe we just need to throw that shit out there and see what sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they did back in the good old days of the Gospels. They just wrote it all down, and do you know what? That was a lot
Didn't
of bollocks.
even really do that. They
People
just spread it by word of mouth, and then someone eventually wrote it down when it had been diluted 67,000 times.
That's right. Those things were happening in like 30 AD, 33 AD, or whatever. And
there were no fucking Bic pens in 30 AD, were there?
Mark's writing in 60. It's 30 years later they decided to write that shit down.
It's not remembering
Matthew's
that.
in 85, So you're 55 years later, Matthew turns to his wife and said, "Do you remember that Jesus guy?" And she's like, "Oh, well, the guy got crucified." It's like, "Yeah, Matthew, that was 55 years ago." I know it was, but 25 years
But
ago,
I've only
Mark
just learned to
wrote it
write.
down. Yes, I've only just learned to write. And Mark made a lot of money out of it 25 years ago, and Luke's not far behind. So I'm just thinking, I want to cash in on that. And he's like, "But you were like 15 at the time, Matthew. What do you remember?" That's why I'm asking you. I should have written it down at the time. All right, make some. I'll tell you what. Get Mark's version and copy it a little bit. Isn't that plagiarism? Yes, but no one will care.
But we haven't really been writing very long, so
Don't
nobody
worry.
knows what plagiarism
Put
is.
some of your own stuff in it, and no one will notice.
Yeah. Run it through like Chat PT, get it to rephrase it for you. It'll be fine.
Just be great. All right, I'm gonna do it, and he did. And that is a free
That's
course
the
on the
story of the
Synoptic
New Testament.
Gospels. But right. I don't.
I do wonder how we're going to segue out of this. And the answer is probably that we're not.
We're not.
Yeah.
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 Are there any things to put in the sea? Because if there are,
That's a good question. I haven't even looked at any of this. So there are not.
would you want to just do haps and naps and do This Is Happening and see where we go from there? And then we'll go into... The thing about it is that if we're not careful, we'll run up back to back with Tfu's and Am I the Arseholes. Maybe we should fucking Tfu the shit or some shit.
Sure. I don't care. Tell me what to press.
Tfu.
Tfu. All right. In that case, Tfu.
It was at this moment that Nathan knew. He fucked up.
I don't really know what ChatGPT is. Incidentally, I saw it. You mentioned it. It got mentioned there. But I swear I was reading something about. I mean, is it something we could use? Oh, this was it. I read a Tfu that had been made up by ChatGPT.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This
That's
guy was
interesting.
doing he basically said...
Just put it in there. Write me a "Today I fucked up" on the basis of this happening.
And it was an April the 1st Tfu, and he wanted to tell a story about how he pranked his boss because his boss is a big prankster, so he wanted to do a prank right back, but that prank backfired, and that's the whole thing. And then at the end of it, they announced it wasn't real, it was an April Fool's thing. It never happened, and furthermore, ChatGPT wrote it for me. And I just thought, oh God. You could. It's super shit. You couldn't have come up with something this shit. But I don't really understand what it is. So
Yeah, it's basically just an AI that you can have a live chat with, basically, and it will do shit for you.
really,
Yeah, and unless you want it to use real-time information, in which case, go fuck yourself.
oh,
Yeah.
well, that'd be
'Cause
interesting to play around with that.
Because rather than having to like search for things, I went in and asked it, can you tell me who was the leading scorer in the XFL in week 3? And it was like, I'm sorry, I don't know anything before after 2019. I'm like, right, so this is a waste of time then, isn't it?
It was Hulk Hogan. It's like, I don't think it was.
When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside.
And he's here tonight. Oh my god, it'd be amazing.
You gotta read a Tifu, you don't have to hide.
Beep, 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 beep. Yeah, could it write like essays for you? Could it say, listen,
Yes, it
write
does.
me an
And
essay
it very often does.
on, how did Macbeth go from being a hero to a tyrant in
Oh, easily can write
nice.
that. Yeah. But luckily, you can also give it an essay and ask if it's plagiarized or written by AI. And
really?
It subverts itself, which is wonderful.
I just see there, suggest something to put in the sea, WWE. What the fuck is he doing?
James, I've got a suggestion for you. It is know your role and shut your mouth and check yourself directly into the SmackDown hotel.
I'm going to take your suggestion, turn it sideways, shine it up real nice, and shove it up your candy ass. No Rock at the WrestleMania. He didn't make a little surprise appearance.
No.
The best person we got was Shane O'Mac as a surprise, as it were. He didn't last long.
Literally. Yeah, he broke. Anyway, Today I Fucked Up is a segment in which we read Tifus that were created by AI for Reddit. Would you like to go first?
I will.
Go for
I mean,
it.
I didn't read. I was reading the ammo. So for
Okay.
later. Today I fucked up by getting my kid to read the school announcements over the PA system. Today I fucked up by getting my kid to read the school announcements over the PA system. Okay, fine. Just
This is lengthy, yeah.
so my 12-year-old son, who was very shy, has been coming out of his shell, trying new things.
Is he a turtle?
Turtle power.
12-year-old in a half shell. Turtle power!
Putting himself out there in ways he never would have a few years ago, participating in choir and plays, joining teams.
What, Microsoft Teams?
Microsoft Teams, yeah, it says it here. He joined Microsoft Teams. That was his first mistake.
Use Discord, it's better, mate.
Yeah. Slack or something like that. What are you doing on Teams? What a pile of shit Teams is. Stop using Teams. Oh my god, I hate Teams. Can we put Teams in the sea? Is Teams
think it's
in the
already
sea?
in the sea.
It must be in the sea.
Citation needed. We'll come back to it later.
Fucking hell. Let's check that shit. It's Teams. Somebody check if Teams is in the sea. His school recently got a new principal who is somewhat of a buzzkill. How? She's just the principal, right? She's just like, Principal Buzzkill. She fenced off a hill that kids used to sled down in the winter. She hired more lunch. That sounds good. I don't know what the problem is with that. Teams is in the sea.
When it comes splashing down and it hurts inside.
Beep, 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 beep. What a fucking tune. It's a great tune. I can't stop singing it. Episode 58, suggested by Aletha. That sounds right.
Good choice.
Fucking unfence the hill then. She fenced off the hill that kids used to sled down. She hired more lunch and hallway monitors to supervise kids. And she started reading the school announcements herself.
Fucking supervision. What a bitch.
What a bitch. Putting in places, putting in
Making
safety
sure
measures.
the children are safe. God, how outrageous of this principal.
School announcements. Is that a different thing in America to what it is in England? Because if you made an announcement in school here, it would just be one of the teachers would be saying shit.
Doom, 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 doom. Can Mr. Jones please come to the front office? Mr. Jones to the front office. Thank you.
Why would you get a kid? Did you have,
Doon.
at the risk of
That was a perfect rendition of my school's announcement system, yes.
I was going to say, at the risk of saying something that's kind of stupidly obvious, did you have a Mr. Jones at your school?
Ha! It was stupidly obvious. Not only was the head teacher Mr. Jones, but there were a litany of other Mr. Joneses in the school in Wales that I attended.
Do you know what would have been good is if instead of the doon 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 doon, they played Mr. Jones, like a little snip of Mr. Jones by
Dr.
Counting
Jones,
Crows.
Jones,
Not that
calling
unless it was-
Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones, front office now.
Front
office now.
That would be brilliant, especially if he had actually was a doctor, like had a PhD in.
There was a Dr. Jones, not the one that I was calling on the tannoy then, but
calling
still,
on the phone.
there
Dr.
was
Jones.
a Dr. Jones. He was a physics teacher. I
Did
think.
you ever sing Dr. Jones at him? Because it feels like you should have done.
Let me tell you that when that song came out, I was in like year 8. So yes, it happened a
I
lot.
was gonna say he must be like he must have been sitting at home watching Top of the Pops and drinking some coffee on like Saturday or something like that. And then it must have and
The song
now
comes on.
number 1, Ackle with Dr. Jones. And he's like
Shit, my life's over.
immediately. He's like, oh,
Margaret, how far away am I from retirement? Oh,
33 years.
fuck. Shit.
Fuck my life.
Dr. Jones, you had your PhD yesterday. You've got a long way to go.
Oh my god. Yeah, so we had a Mr. Jones at our and I was just Mr. Jones and me. It should just go but Mr. Jones, my Mr. Jones, was a terrible cunt. A proper cunt. And if you're watching this, Mr. Jones, you're a cunt. You're not though. That's Mr. Jones, who was an English teacher at the Harvey Grammar circa 1992.
Doon. Could Mr. Jones, who was a teacher at the Harvey Grammar circa,
1992.
please kindly fuck off? That's Mr. Jones. Fuck off. Doon.
I just want to stop the stream right now.
Okay.
Fuck Mr. Jones, good night. No, not really. So, so anyway, fuck was I? The previous principal would have had staff and students read the announcements that were relevant to them. Oh, I see.
Oh yeah, we're doing a Tifu.
No.
I totally forgot.
If the announcement pertained to the basketball team or the chess club, someone from the basketball team or the chess club had to come down to the office and read it. Here's where the fuck up starts. Oh God, we got to the start, Jeremy. I work with the school board in a professional capacity, and last Friday, during a meeting with senior leadership and principals, I ran into my son's new principal, Lady Buzzkill.
I think you might be playing fast and loose with the term professional there, based on what you've said already, but carry on.
I lamented the change and suggested that kids enjoyed reading the announcement. Her complaint was that there would always be 10 kids in the office taking turns, and she just wanted it to be streamlined.
Sorry, I'm just going to stop you there. Will has just cheered 121 bitties.
This is how we're going to get to 200.
We did fuck Shed Store, therefore this must be the next episode, right? I mean, that's an expensive joke, Will, but it's a good joke. I like it. Very good.
Thank you very much for the bitties. Very much appreciate that.
They will go to good use, I assure you.
It will. They really will. Yeah, she didn't want all these people hanging around in the office. She wanted to be streamlined. But she came up with the idea of...
Like most principals, she didn't actually want to see any fucking children.
No.
She just wanted to sit in her office all day.
That's why you become a
her own.
principal.
Yeah.
So you don't have
Done
to
with
teach.
that shit.
But she came up with the idea of having one kid each week who would read all of the announcements. My son would be the first. He was thrilled. Fucking hell. What kind of a life have you given to your child that reading the announcements is the best thing that's
Kids
happened?
love that shit, though.
Yeah, they
honestly,
do.
they
They
really
do.
fucking love that shit.
By the way, she doesn't sound like a buzzkill. She's just like, people have been injured on the thing, so I'm going to cut that off. And, you know, it's too many people fucking around in the office. We'll have one kid. She said, okay, fine, let's just have one kid. Like, she seems like someone who's totally open to compromise.
Yeah, it does seem a bit like the op is a bit of a Karen, just complaining about everything. Yeah.
Monday and Tuesday announcements go off without a hitch.
Monday, Tuesday, happy days.
Wednesday, Thursday,
Happy days.
however, threw him a curveball. The principal decided that on tarmac-only days, that is when the grass was wet and the fields are muddy.
Right.
Grass is wet and the fields are muddy. Kids would not be allowed to play with any balls.
Take me down to the tarmac city.
The grass was wet and the kids are shitty. Oh, won't you please take me home? This and many other Guns N' Roses songs will be at Glastonbury.
At least one more. They've got another one.
They've
at
got
least,
one more.
right?
They've got November Rain.
Yeah. And many more.
And many more. I've lost the thread of this a little bit. I'm sorry if you guys have lost it too.
And I feel sorry for whoever's going to be editing this together.
Wednesday, however, threw him a curveball. The principal decided on tarmac-only days, that's when the grass is wet and the fields are muddy, kids would not be allowed to play with any balls. You know exactly where this is headed. I'm afraid I don't. The principal dutifully wrote up the announcement with the words, "No balls," in bold. My son read the announcement as written, adding emphasis where she did. He did, however, improvise. Love it.
Balls.
And name-dropped his friends and teachers. Mrs. Smith would like to announce that on tarmac-only days, students are not to play with balls at recess. There will be no balls allowed on tarmac-only days. That's disappointing. I don't know what she has against balls, but there will be no balls played with today. Mrs. Smith doesn't want us playing with balls. I know Jackson Cooper, his best friend, loves playing with balls. He's not picky. He'll play with any balls.
Have you just doxed your friends, your son's friends there?
Mr. Jones, the gym teacher, lets us play with balls every day. We also have lots of fun.
We had a dodgy Mr. Jones at our school as well, to be fair.
And then she turned off the mic. He was suspended and sent home. I've already had a conversation with the superintendent, and he's going to overrule the suspension. Overruled! My son's teacher, a friend of mine from way back, said it was the funniest thing he's ever heard because it was completely deadpan. TLDR, my kid read the announcements, added a few innuendos, and got suspended. I love it.
I think it's totally worth it.
I love it. Why the fuck wouldn't you do?
Like,
That's brilliant.
For a 12-year-old that you described as previously being a bit shy and struggling to come out of his shell, to fucking get up there, say this, get the massive kudos from all of his schoolmates, drop the fucking mic, say fuck Shed Store, I think it's totally fucking worth it.
Baubles.
It's not a fuck up.
Not the asshole. Love it, love it, love it, love it. We got there. We got there in the end.
We did. I'm not sure we're going to get through this one without singing, though.
No?
There's a few singable bits in this one.
Looking forward to it.
What Shed Store? Today I fucked up telling my dad about Tom.
Fucking Tom.
Throwaway account, TLDR below. Not that we'll need it.
No.
A week ago, a random homeless man waved at me when I, 18M, was walking home from school with my friends. I did what I thought was the polite thing to do and waved back. As soon as the homeless man saw me, he yelled, "I banged your dad!"
Classic homeless.
My friends laughed. Feeling somewhat compelled to set the record straight, I yelled, "My dad's not gay, bruh." The homeless man yelled, Tell your dad Tom misses that Italian ass." One of my friends froze and said, "Dude, isn't your dad, Italian?" I was done communicating with the crazy homeless person and walked away without saying anything to anyone, not even my friends. Towards the end of the day, I decided to ask my dad if he knew a man named Tom. My dad narrowed his eyes and repeatedly said, Tom, 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 like he was struggling to
Tom.
connect the dots. Tom.
I've never seen a Tom.
Yeah. It seemed like my dad didn't know anyone named Tom, which was good enough for me.
Case closed.
I was prepared to close the case
Ah, there you go.
and never mention you-know-who again. But then my mom appeared out of nowhere, much like Randy Orton, and reminded my dad that he used to work with a Tom. My dad awkwardly complimented my mom for having such a good memory at her age, before confirming that he did indeed work with a Tom.
Her age?
Hmm.
How old is she? It was such a long time ago, that Tom you knew.
But the two of them somehow lost contact when co-worker Tom became unemployed Tom a few months ago. A few months ago? Okay.
A few months ago, but she has this memory that's so...
Didn't you used to work with a Tom in January?
Do you remember that far back?
Doesn't ring a bell. Shut up, wife. I said I might have seen Tom, and I think he's homeless Tom now. Man, that's a real demotion from co-worker Tom to homeless Tom.
Co-worker Tom to unemployed to homeless.
My dad asked what prompted me to talk to a random stranger on the street. I said the random stranger targeted me and actually did most of the talking. My dad said from now on he's going to drive me to school and pick me up. Result. I said I preferred walking with my friends. Sucker. My dad said he preferred keeping me safe. I said it was a homeless man, not Hannibal Lecter. But both my parents agreed that I was no longer walking to school.
Okay.
I said, time out. This is very much a stream of consciousness bit of writing here. You can tell it's actually from a teenager. I said time out and asked my dad if he wanted to know what Tom said about him. My dad literally stopped blinking when he looked at me and said Tom's big mouth was the reason he got fired. So if it was the same Tom that spoke to me, then he would suggest I do what Tom failed to do, which was to keep quiet. It's getting a bit serious.
Sounds a bit made up, but I could be wrong.
I got the sense that my dad wanted me to stop talking about Tom. So I did. The next morning, my dad made me get in his car so he could drive me to school like he said he would. All I could do was sulk. As we were driving, my dad showed me a photo on his phone of a guy and asked if that was the homeless man I saw. Not the best picture quality, the photo was clearly cropped, but there he was, the clean-cut version of homeless Tom. I said, "That's the guy!" My dad asked me what Tom said about him. Without going into detail, I said Tom missed him. My dad asked me to explain where I saw Tom. He was going to check if Tom was still there and tell him never to bother me again. When my dad and I saw each other again, he was picking me up from school. He seemed a lot happier than when he dropped me off.
He'd murdered Tom.
My friends at school were convinced that Tom and my dad had an office romance that came to an end when Tom lost his job. The consensus was that my dad might allow homeless Tom to put his you-know-what in my dad's you-know-where as soon as the two of them saw each other again. Just say that they might fuck, you twat.
Yes, you can just say that.
I refused to believe what all my friends believed. I gathered that from the clunky way you fucking said that they were going to have sex, you dick. Until I noticed my dad low-key blushing behind the wheel when I asked...
Low-key, like... low-key, like the brother of Thor.
No, like the professional wrestler that won NXT Season 2 and then was promptly released afterwards.
Ah, right, okay. I got it now.
That one, yeah. I've forgotten what the run online was there.
Sorry.
I refused to believe what my friends believed until I saw my dad low-key blushing behind the wheel when I asked if he managed to find and confront Tom. My dad said that there was no sign of Tom when he checked, and he promised to go back and check again. He was quick to change the subject and ask me about school, my friends, my girlfriend, etc.
Did I want any ice cream? Let's get out of here.
A week ago, My dad preferred working from home because he could spend more time with me and my mum. But for the past couple of days, he's apparently been spending most of his time at the office. Yesterday, my mum found an unused condom in the laundry and assumed it was mine. I said the condom didn't belong to me.
No, didn't happen.
But my mum gave me the slow nod of mistrust before interrogating me about my non-existent sex life. Meanwhile, my dad had no idea what to tell my mum when she made him aware that some of his clean laundry had gone missing. Socks, underwear, gone. Something was going on.
No one notices underwear missing.
The unusually long hours at work, the mysterious condom, which is a great wrestler name.
The mysterious condom! Weighing at 325 pounds.
From parts unknown. Ooh.
From Truth and Consequences, Missouri.
The unusually long hours at work, the missing condom, the missing laundry, all pointed towards someone who's not very good at covering their tracks, but is very good at covering their ass.
I don't think he is.
With underwear and then taking it off and using the condom. I get the feeling that the condom was for Tom, who was probably wearing my dad's missing socks and underwear.
Wow, aren't you a little Nancy Drew?
That being said, I have nothing to confirm that my dad is cheating on my mom with another man. But if he is, and the other guy ends up being Tom, then technically I'm responsible for potentially ruining a marriage by accidentally reuniting my possibly gay father, follow this if you can, with someone that was out of his life for a good reason. TLDR, if
Please
we
end.
can. A homeless man approached me on the street and said my dad, who is married to my mom, used to have sex with him. I informed my dad about the homeless man, and now I think the two of them might be having sex. Again.
They are not. You made it up.
Thanks, chat GBT.
Yeah. By the way, Contom and Tondom were what I was thinking when they said that. Oh my god. I don't care if this is fake, lol.
I don't care if it's fake either. I thought it was a good story.
It is kind of,
Not particularly well written, but a good story.
It's like, I can only imagine this person writing it going like, and then there must have been a condom. So in this situation, for some reason, the dad has gone out of the house to meet up with Tom and ostensibly have sex, and then brought that condom back just to be found in a waste paper basket or whatever, wherever it was found in your story. Like, it was found in an awkward place. It's like
why wasn't it used? Like,
yeah, why wasn't it? Why was it? The mysterious condom,
unused condom,
would never be findable.
No.
Like, he's not going to go, do you know what? Here's the condom that we've either just used or we were going to use and it's come out of his packet. And let's take this thing and leave it in the house where anyone can find it. It's like, nah, mate, that ain't happening.
No.
ChatGPT would do better.
And also, he wouldn't give Tom his own underwear. He'd just buy him some new clothes from Walmart or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, it's like I have quite a lot of just regular underwear that just all looks the same, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Like most men, to be honest. And yeah, I will go as far to say that if any of my underwear was missing,
you would not notice.
Karis would not notice.
Nobody would. Like, I don't think I just got like, I don't know, there's like 20 pairs of pants in that fucking drawer. If I lost 3, I'm gonna fucking, they're like, oh my god, this is not credible. It's bullshit.
But fun. Thank you
But
very
an
much.
amusing story about a potential affair and rekindled love. But was it your fault that it got back together? No, I reckon, it would have found a way. It would have found a way.
Am I the ass Tom?
Yes. Who has ever noticed if underwear was missing? If I've lost underwear along the way, I don't know. I've never noticed.
No.
I just don't really own any underwear that's so unique that it's...
No, exactly. I don't have like a favourite pair of pants or whatever.
Captain Brilliant does for certain. I've seen that guy's underwear and it's all crazy fucking Flintstone-y, crazy Marvel shit. So I reckon he might notice if his Iron Man
potentially
pants have gone.
Yeah.
Or his Green Lantern pants have gone. He might notice that. But
Fair enough. Primark trunks are to die for this year. There you go. Fashion advice from James 31. Teenagers think they're so fucking clever, don't you, Jez? It's a compliment. I'll take that. If you would like to compare me to a teenager, there's no problem. Right. The chat took the assignment and thoroughly filled things with haps and naps. So we're about ready for that, if you would like to lead on.
Yes, let's get to that segment we call This Is Happening.
In a world filled with haps and naps, two men have risen above to bring you This Is Happening.
Right, This Is Happening, where we look at what's happened and what's happening in the week and cool shit that everyone wants to do and things they hate. And James talks about paint, and Harmstone talks about his house.
As is tradition. Yeah.
I will burn this segment to the ground.
I will start out with Hap. I'm thoroughly enjoying that all the segments, the stings and everything are working again.
Oh, yes!
And they're not turning us into robotic kind of people. So, yeah.
Please so far.
Right, let's get to the bottom of this shit. Hap says, Will, haircut tomorrow.
Man, I've got my hair getting cut tomorrow, and
Keris is going for a haircut tomorrow as well. Apparently, it is haircut day.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
I mean, I'm not as excited maybe as Will is about a haircut. In fact, my haircut never excites me, although I'm quite pleased to start being a bit slicker, although I don't need it massively at the moment. But
I've actually been strangely happy with my hair this week.
Yeah?
Yeah, not that I'm, releasing it now, because right now it's a monstrosity. But in general, I've been a bit happy with it, and that will change by next week when it grows that little bit and ruins everything.
Fruit Bat, does it say you're getting your hair cut too? Because it's actually cut under.
I think it does. Yes.
Hey! I
Happy
meant to
haircut
ask
day.
Dr. Fruit Bat, are you going to event one of Curious Pastimes? Because it seems easy enough to ask you here.
Maybe I should get my hair cut tomorrow.
Maybe you should.
Otherwise I'll feel left out, won't I?
Well, I'm going in at 1-ish, so don't go in then.
Do you not get the bespoke house service anymore? Do you have to go there?
No, he doesn't come round here anymore.
Oh, that's it.
No, I go to him. Unless flat purchases get in the way, then yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Good.
Nerd chat. Do we want to talk about this one?
Harmstone Heights is now a thing.
Cool. Great.
Well, congratulations, Mr. Harmstone.
Let's move on. Nap. Amazon don't seem to fucking comprehend where it is. Well, of course they don't. It's a brand new house. It didn't exist until this week.
Yes.
So I don't blame them. You got to put that thing in a machine, and the machine doesn't know where it is.
Yeah.
So you're the arsehole.
Yes.
Everyone sucks here. Nap, says Lady Sorrow. The child
is a piglin.
just stole my dinner.
Yoink.
Get used to that. That does not change.
Really? Just take in.
Yeah, you're like, ooh, that looks nice.
Well, how can like a seagull will sometimes steal your chips, and I'm like, why does that happen? I'd be very mindful and very careful of protecting my chips from seagulls. But in a similar way, does the child just like?
Thing is, Alex, you can punch a seagull. It's frowned upon to punch your own child in the face, and so they get away with it.
There was a point when I really wanted to punch a seagull, Jeremy. I was walking down Embrook Valley when I used to live with Plumber, and a fucking seagull buzzed me, as if to say, get away from my child, because their baby birds are kind of strewn on the floor. And so sometimes you're walking that way and it's like...
like, put your kids somewhere else, you fucking prick.
Fucking seagulls. And then they're like, well, they can't fly yet, so they're going to stay there. But then they're very protective, so they buzz you and fly you. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I hate that for a start. But there was no child anywhere, so the bird was just buzzing me for kicks. And it came at me quite fast, and I ducked, and I was like, what the fuck? And it tried to come at me again, and I honestly stood there with my fist up like this, going like... Not like, why I order? Seagull, if I see you again. But I thought maybe if it comes close enough to me, I'll just punch it in the face. Because I wasn't about to be, I'm just thinking...
Yeah, you ain't letting no seagull bitch you.
Right? I'm not going to be like, oh no, what the fuck? I was going to, if it comes near me...
I ain't no seagull cuck.
If I could, I would have caught it like that. And just squeezed
No, you listen here.
You listen here.
Seagull. who doesn't speak English.
Yeah, I hope you have to speak his language. Why does it say, get me a mug of McDonald's?
This human really doesn't know what he's fucking saying. Really needs to work on his dialect.
Sell the sofa. Why haven't you sold it yet? Why is he telling me to sell my own sofa?
I didn't even
Clearly
have a
doesn't
sofa.
understand the language. I was hoping I could just grab it by the neck and be just like, I will squeeze the life out if you tell the other fucking birds. But it never came back.
Jez has never punched a seagull. He's too slow. No, but I have sprayed one in the face with water, and I've hit one with a shoe. Do you remember the Great Seagull War of 2021?
Yes.
Yeah, when this fucking gigantic seagull would just kept coming and pecking the shit out of my patio doors while I was streaming. Yeah, that was not fun times, but I do kind of look back on it fondly.
Did you? How did that end? Did you just never come back again one time?
Winter came, and I assume it died of cold.
Yeah, died of cold.
Something.
Good.
Yeah. We'll find out. It didn't come back last summer, so
That's the
good.
end of that seagull.
And then we'll find out this summer whether he or a family member comes back. Oh man, he was a bully, the seagull. Yeah, he would actually like chase my fully grown ass cat. That's a big cat back into the house. That's how big this fucking seagull was. What a little cunt that thing was. Well, what a massive cunt that thing was, actually.
What can you do about seagulls? What can you do?
You can put bicarbonate of soda on bread and leave it outside and let nature take its course.
Yes, I heard that. I wonder if that's true.
It kills them. It's not as spectacular as people make out, but it does fuck them up. And it is illegal, and we are only speaking hypothetically in a comedic manner.
We would never do that. I have never done that.
Never have I ever put bicarbonate soda out for a seagull.
But here's the thing. When that seagull came to die for me, beak towards my face, I think it's legit that I can punch it in the face.
That would stand up in a court of law. It's
It has
self-defense. It's
It
just
has
self-defense.
to.
Yeah.
It's self-defense.
Yeah, he started it, Gov.
Yeah. And do you see the seagull in the courtroom now, Mr. Borton? I'd be like, no, he's a fucking seagull. He's on a roof somewhere. Yeah, the seagull, like, and can you see the person who punched you in this courtroom, Mr. Seagull?
Can you see, girl?
He'd be like, wah, wah. May the the witness cawed and nodded his beak towards
Order!
I will find you in contempt, sir.
The seagull will refrain from cawing.
We find the defendant guilty of punching a seagull in the face. No court in the world would convict me, Jeremy.
They haven't got fucking time, have they?
No. No case to answer.
It may be illegal, but if you kill a seagull, nothing's going to happen. Nothing. I thought you said came to die for me, and I thought it was some kind of Easter allegory. I think you did say die for me, but you meant to say dive for me.
Oh yeah, well,
but I think it all just ran into.
Okay. On the third day, he died for me. He died. The seagull died for our sins, or was murdered by me for our sins.
Jesus H. Christ.
No court.
No court in the world. I was pregnant and walking through town, and it physically assaulted me and stole my chicken wrap. Yeah, probably the same seagull. Fucking cunt.
We've got to stand up to these seagulls.
Gotta rise up.
Rise up.
Take down the seagull oppressors.
Yes. Yeah,
Oppressors?
just listen. I'm not going to...
Can't say oppressors, apparently.
Just want to...
Where I used to live, they had a nest on the roof. I knew the eggs had hatched because it would dive bomb you. Yeah, and I think that is why this seagull had a vendetta against my cat, because I do think that he might have got the fuck into the nest and eaten one of the babies. Or not him, but the neighbor cat, because apparently the neighbor cat like returned home one day absolutely fucking caked in bird shit, and so.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So maybe the neighbor cat got into the nest. It's covered in bird shit, bits of eggshell, bits of baby bird in its mouth and stuff like that. And then went home, and then like the dad got home, and the mum's like, "Oh my God, Leonard, someone's eating our babies." And it's like, "Well, did you see who it was?" And then there's your cat walks past there like, "It was him." It's like, I'm on it. And then that's how it worked. Maybe it's because I ate the seagull's babies that time when I climbed up onto the roof and got into their nest.
That'll do it.
That might have been it.
Yeah.
I say I'm blameless. But
Or maybe it just blew off in the great storm of 2020.
Yeah,
And,
it was then.
Yeah, and then
And it was
you got
landed
the
at my
blame for it.
feet.
Yeah. I think you're innocent, mate. I believe you.
Thank you very much. I hope you're on the jury when the time comes,
No,
basically.
I'm not a seagull, but we'll see.
A jury of my peers.
Of your peers or their peers?
It was my peers. Thank God.
'Cause
Otherwise,
you
they'd
will
have
be-
to find 12,
You'll be the defendant, won't you?
Yes.
So it will be of your peers.
12 seagulls, fair and true. The 12 says, like, 12 angry men. Fucking no, not kidding. 12 angry seagulls.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I'm sorry, was that
Please
was
place
that a
your
yes
wing.
or a no?
You put your ring on the Bible. Split. Welcome
Repeat
in.
after me. I swear.
I don't know what we're talking about. I love it. I can't stop. Welcome in, Invasion McMikey.
Yo, we've gone a bit nuts.
We're chatting about seagulls. What do you think of seagulls, Mike? What's your view of
I
seagulls?
defy anyone to defend the seagull. I haven't found anybody that
Someone
likes
in this chat
seagulls.
say, I
Wait,
love seagulls, ... because.
James 31 likes seagulls.
No, he doesn't, does he?
He must do. He likes birds in general, so...
Hmm.
I reckon if anybody out there likes a seagull, it's James 31. He loves gulls. See? Nobody likes a know-it-all, Lisa.
Two wrongs make a right.
No such thing as seagulls.
See. It's because they know where the sea is. That's why they say it. See. They're just telling you all day long.
And of course, as we know, they're all named Steve. Steven Seagull.
Oh, God. Let's move on from this bit to the next.
Okay.
This is happening.
Hey, have you not had enough seagulls?
Oh, they might come back.
Yeah. That was from The Child Stole My Dinner. That was a really good tangent, that was.
That's really great. We still didn't get to the bottom of how the child does steal the dinner.
Like that.
They just reach out. You're doing something, and the child is close enough to you to be able to be like,
Or they just look at you with eyes and they're like,
"You've had your dinner."
Mhm.
There you go.
That's how that works. Hap, says Aletha, my new, sometimes choir, sometimes DGMS way of life. Now, there is one problem with this way of life.
That it's not 100% DGMS.
You have nailed it in one.
I'd have
Should just be DGMS way of life.
nailed it in one. Very apropos for this Easter time. Still 2 days of work left this week. Oh yeah, because it's Good Friday, so got the day off.
Well, what's so fucking good about it, Alex? You tell me.
I'll tell you what's good about it. I don't have to be at work. I mean, you will, because, well, you might not. It's up to you. You can work when you want.
I'm kind of not working very much this week because it's the Easter holidays anyway. So yeah.
Easter is coming.
Easter is coming. Easter is coming. Always
Tis the
Pepsi
season.
Max. They should do that.
Holy Week music in church, says Will. Do they sing specific Easter tunes? Because, I mean, I don't really go to church very often, but I don't remember there being, there's Christmas carols, but I don't believe there are Easter Easter songs.
Easter time, daffodils and wine,
Oh my God.
children singing, bunny and rhyme.
You know what I mean? It doesn't exist. There's no Easter-based thing oh, mind you, he rolled away the stone. I think there's one thing about rolling away the stone, but that might have been Mumford and Sons. Do you know what I mean? Are there any? It's like, oh wait, the Lord of the Dance Settee. The Lord, dance then wherever you will be. I am the Lord of the Dance Settee.
Something
And
forever
I'll leave
they
you
will be.
all, forever will be. Lead you all in the dance set. Dance then. Oh yeah, Lord of the Dance. Well, that's actually pretty Eastery, isn't it? I danced in the morning when the world was young. Do 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 do. That's a pretty banging tune, actually.
That's probably the only good hymn, really.
Dance then wherever you may be. I am. As it antiphons and reproaches, etc. Oh, okay. Well, I haven't had a good antiphon.
Well, if you don't know the answer, there's no need to make up words, mate. just say I don't know. It's fine.
Sing Hosanna, Sing Hosanna to the King of Kings. Sing Hosanna, sing Hosanna, sing Hosanna to the King.
To the king.
But then some kids will be like, of Kings. And it's like, no, it's not of Kings the second time. Fucking idiots.
That was the least of the church's problems when I was in church singing.
Could tell the people that were... They didn't have an 11 plus at my primary school. They just listened to everyone singing Sing Hosanna, and those kids who sang of Kings at the end just went to a shitty comprehensive, and everybody else that stayed silent went to the Harvey Grammar. And that's how they did it. And that's just a fucking fact.
So much churchy in this stream. It is.
No, I love it. You've got
this episode will have to have some kind of religious-based name.
Seek ye first the kingdom of God.
Oh, Alex and Jez.
I'm not a huge Seek ye first fan.
Which one's that one? You just sung it, but I still don't know.
This righteousness. There's also a big bit where they couldn't come up with a decent lyrics. They just sing Alleluia for ages. Goes,
oh, that's a lot of hymns, really. Yeah.
I know.
Like Hallelujah times 6.
One day, maybe when I'm doing Wheel of Fortune or any of those music streams, when I do eventually get around to that, maybe I'll just do a religious.
You should
one.
do a hymn
one, and I'll just crack out a load of hymns for you.
Yeah.
Because I play guitar. Well, I don't at the moment, but whenever my dad wants me to, I'll play guitar in church. So periodically, my dad will say, "Oh, I need to play guitar in church, and your uncle's not around, or your uncle's around, but I'm not around. Will you be the guitarist?" I'm like a session church guitarist.
He's like the last option guitarist for the church.
Well, like when they do this stuff, what they tend to do on these, and I used to go to this thing called a couple of times, I think, called New Dawn in the Church, and it was a big Catholic religious festival that my dad wanted to go to, my brother's been to, and they have a big marquee, and it's just like 2 hours of mass, and you've got a full band.
Jesus fuck, 2 hours of mass?
I know, my dad loved it. My dad was like, "Oh my god, this is," and my mum was like, "John, seriously,
nobody gives a fuck.
The kids are like 11 and 13." They can't do 2 hours of mass. But
he's like, put the mass into my, just hook it straight into my veins.
Yeah. And
fucking mass.
At the front, there's one person who leads it, and they normally need a really charismatic singing guitar player who will just lead it, and they'll say the first line of the next song. So they'll quickly prompt you into it, so everyone knows kind of where they are. And I'm like, I could definitely do that. I could definitely be that person. I thought
you were going to say like they had a really like charismatic person at the front leading it, and in that person's absence, they chose me.
It could be me. I could make some money.
Went to a like 3-hour mass once.
Never again. Yeah, when
still has flashbacks.
When me and Hannah and Tom would make jokes about the fact that when my brother got ordained, like they do a thing where they're singing about the saints of God come to our aid. So him and I think the other guy was called Bogdan. I can't remember the
Bogdan.
He's a Polish deacon. I'm pretty sure his name was Bogdan. And but they were both prostrate on the cold marble floor of Bristol Cathedral, and they had to lay there for the length of time it took them to sing "Saints of God come to our aid." And let me just say, that's a long fucking hymn. That's like 20 minutes of him, and they're laying down there for fucking "Saints of God, come to our aid." That's how it goes, basically. They go, "Saint something and Saint something, pray for us. Saint something and Saint something, pray for us." And
is
then
it like the Animaniacs country song?
I don't know it, so maybe.
It just keeps going.
It was like that.
A lot of fucking countries.
It was like Saint Peter and Saint Paul, pray for us. Saint Margaret and Saint Magdalena, pray for us. And then we go, "Saints of God, come to our aid. Hear our
we just listed 10 saints. We better do a chorus for a bit.
Yeah,
okay.
Right. That's exactly what it was.
Right, back to the saints.
And I just, honestly, it was killing me because, like, I think beforehand the plan was they were going to go like, we'll do like 3 verses, but it seemed like nobody got that memo.
So basically what you're saying is if you're ever going to be ordained, take a fucking blanket with you or like a kit mat or something.
You're going to be down there.
Hold
for
on a
while.
second. Just going to make the area comfortable.
Still not over. Someone's phone going off halfway through the mass and it playing a hymn as a ringtone.
Oh my Christ, like, really? Religious nerds are the worst.
Litany
nerds.
of the Saints, Saints of God.
I mean, if it's got litany in the title, the clue's in the name, really.
It's a long time. He's still lying on that fucking floor. Fuck me.
307,000 saints later.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've gone back into the religion again. What's
Can't
next?
stop.
Nap from Dr. Fruitbat. The shithole I live in is now a rat-infested shithole. Well, at least you got company.
Fuck.
And last week, someone threw a toaster in the bin in a fit of rage. What?
Literally raging against the machine.
Fuck you, you can't have toast.
Bow, bow, down, bow.
Like, if you guys can't fucking cook a waffle properly, I'm going to bin the toaster so you're left with no choice.
Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crusts.
One for tenuous.
I love shit like that. Sorry, someone that you live with
threw away the toaster out of spite. Like shared property, I assume.
He's living with someone else, and then one day he came down to like put a Pop-Tart in, and someone had thrown it in the bin. I don't understand. But that sounds pretty bad.
Yeah.
Got mad, dumped it in the bin.
I took it and threw it in the bin. I threw the rest of the bread too. Welcome to the real world, jackass. Do you want to take this hap? It's about you after all.
I can't read it very well, but it doesn't. Does it say O? Does that say O at the front?
Yes.
Oh, Alex is an influencer now. Not only did I get the Nakes Teals bar
stools.
Nakes Teals bar stools, but I realised when he mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I'm entitled to free car washes through confused.com. Oh, I see. Yeah, it was a bit small over there, but yes. I see. I've managed to remind you. Confused.com is going to give you... Yeah. And if you've got that, you know you're going to get free Greg's. Free Greg's coffees, and that's the sweetest.
Well, you're not, are you?
No.
But you're supposed to.
Yeah.
See, I said he likes birds. Hap from James. Birds are singing up the common.
Oh, God.
Is that a colloquialism for his ass?
Yes.
They're right up my common, they are.
Singing
away. Yeah.
Hap says, Hannah, daffodils.
They are quite hap.
Yeah, they are hap.
Ours have broken through this week in the garden.
Morning has broken. That's another hymn.
I thought it was what Joey sung to his
Morning's here.
Morning is here. James 31. Nap. They're still people who don't appreciate the natural world or know the difference between ducks and geese. I have no idea who he's referring to, do you?
Idiots that don't know the difference.
Yeah.
I've got a photo of a goose on my phone, and I'll send it to you later. I saw a goose when I was in Manchester, and I took a picture of it for all of you. Such is my knowledge of ducks and geese, and I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But I'm sure he means there are some people who don't like... Although I mentioned, actually, that I don't like the natural world at work, and now it's become pretty well known. My boss is like, you don't like nature, though, do you, Alex? And I'm like, yeah, not really.
It came up on when we were on the Absolute Bedlam podcast as well, and you were quite rightly lamented for it.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
Hap says, Karis, bet and being in the state of flow. That sounds like a real cunty thing to say.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's Hap. Nap can share. Internet dying today. Yeah, Virgin Media nationwide are having a bit of a fucking nightmare.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Couch... Fourth Panda!
Yes, Fourth Panda did come in and we ignored them. Sorry.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to ignore them.
Yeah, I was like, Fourth Panda, I'll say hello when I finish this sentence, and then forgot.
But if you're still here, hello.
Hello. Apologies.
Couch naps are the best. That's awesome.
That's true. Naps in general are the best, to be fair. Yeah. And then Nap from Aletha just tried to scroll my notebook up.
We were talking about that last week, weren't we? Like, let me just expand that. One of these days, it'll all be like that.
I mean, you did teach me that I can scroll with my trackpad that I didn't know. Not 3 fingers, though. That does something else. 2 fingers was the way. You can scroll with your trackpad.
This is the way.
Today I learned, except like most Tifus, it wasn't today. It was last week. Yeah. And then you might have to take this one because I have no idea what this means.
I can't read
Nap, Missa de Angelis, parentheses, Missa 8. That's from Will.
I don't know what that means, but Angelis, I think, means angels, and Missa is to ignore something. So
Misa Angelis?
yeah, this was clearly written by
Misa Musa Angelis?
who's the guy from who's that?
Jar Jar
Jar
Binks.
Jar Binks. Yeah, Jar Jar Binks.
Misa
Right.
Musa
That's
Angelis.
what I had in my head, but I was just
Misa
like
Musa. A Latin mass setting.
Latin. Will we all speak English now? You got to tell these guys nobody does it in Latin
Fucking
anymore.
Catholic Church. Get with the times. Jesus.
It's all in English now. Whenever I go to church now, they've changed it all around. I don't know any of the words, so they all say "and with your spirit" and not, and also with you, and I'm just like all over the place there.
Is it like
My
on
dad
a
was-
cycle? Because I think we've had this conversation before.
Yeah, we
But
have.
when I went to the Catholic Church, it was "and with your spirit," and that was.
It's been a while.
90s. Yeah.
It's been a while. No, I don't think they changed it as early as that, but like they did change. They've changed. It has been for a while, but I just don't go anymore. So now I have to kind of like. My dad looks disapprovingly down from the altar.
When
kind
you're
of
like, and oh fuck.
I said,
Is that not what we say?
"Let us offer each other a sign of peace." All right then. It's like, do we not say that anymore?
Righty then.
Let us offer each other a sign of peace. And then what happens is everyone then scrabbles around like hungry hippos to shake hands with as many people
Oh
as
yeah,
possible.
that shit.
And then when they can't, they do an ineffectual wave like, "Oh, I want to offer you a sign of peace, but I can't quite see you, so I'll just kind of," and I'm just like, "Stop it! Stop shaking hands and waving each other."
Now I'm gonna throw it out there. I think a lot of this shit was poached from the Church of.
I don't know, maybe someone messaged me on Facebook.
A lot of this shit was poached from the Church of England because, like, when I went to the Catholic Church, none
Yeah.
of that existed, and then I went to Church of England or Church of Wales, if you will, and all of that shit was there. So
I don't know what's going on with the situation you've seen, but "let us offer each other a sign of peace" has been something since I was like a very small child.
that was never in the church.
So
I
maybe
went to.
they just didn't. But anyway, my dad would sing that bit. He
It
got
was
a
a
little
very
bit
small
solo.
church. It was literally like a shed.
Fuck shed church.
There we go. We have concluded the haps and naps on this very religious version of
This
Don't Get Me
is such
Started.
a religious episode.
Yeah, yeah. Any other religious-based topics you'd like to cover?
I
before
will
we,
answer any religious based stuff.
before we move on.
More about the Catholic Church or the Synoptic Gospels. It's not. No, we're not doing that. What time is it anyway? Oh God, is it 9:30?
It is 9:30.
Well, okay. We're not. I don't think there are nobody wants to put anything in the sea. I don't have anything to put in the sea this week.
I don't know either. No, it's
I'm
been a
pretty
good
happy
week.
on account of the fact that
Yeah.
while we're here, happy Ramadan. It's great because now it's all religions are being involved now. We're getting it all happening.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to put in the sea.
No, James doesn't have anything to put in the sea.
He tried WWE.
Yes, it's not going to happen.
Can't we just
is
hit
it?
the button and then just not put it in the sea?
What, discuss it and then not do it?
Yeah, because we're never going to put it in the sea.
Sure.
Why would we put it in the sea?
Yeah, well, maybe.
By doing it, maybe it'll prompt someone to do something, and then we'll see what happens. If not, we'll just go straight along to Am I the Arsehole and peace out.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, let's deafen them with another sting, because
Do
it's
it.
fun.
Won't you come with me? Gonna eat it in the sea. Won't you come with me? Gonna throw it in with glee. If you really, really hate it and you'd love to desecrate it, won't you come along with me and put it in the sea?
Get my
Pepsi of love.
yeah. Okay, so you want to put WWE in the sea?
Yeah, I vote no. What do you vote, Alex?
I vote no.
That's the end of that.
I mean, I'm happy to discuss it a little bit, but
Ask me in 6 months and you may get a different answer.
because it's fake rubbish. Yeah, but like it's just as fictionalized as Star Wars,
As
right?
literally everything
It's
else.
just the same. It's like
That's a very
saying
tired
something's-
argument.
Yeah. It is. Saying something is fake as opposed to real is just like all stories are exactly like that, right? So it's like, God damn it! That Jane Austen shit never actually happened. Indiana Jones wasn't real; it was scripted. It's like it's just a
I
story.
can't believe that they didn't really blow up the Death Star. That was all faked.
Oh.
Unbelievable.
CGI, mate, it wasn't real. That's what, and I won't watch anything unless it's documentaries. Much like James, he only ever watches real. If it doesn't say something like this was based on a true story,
Based on a true
he
story.
switches it off.
WWE is like Star Wars is your argument.
Oh, whoa, straw man! Hold on. Fiction is fiction. If you're telling me that you don't like WWE because it's fiction, then you're telling me you don't like other fiction things, so anything that's on TV that's made up, CIS, Friends, West Wing, anything that you enjoy that's fiction, by that argument, you also dislike. And that's
Even
fine.
the majority of documentaries are actually fictionalized.
That's fine.
The stories that are told in them are complete acts of fiction.
So if you've got a problem with wrestling because it's fiction, then you have a problem with fiction. And that's okay if you only read non-fiction,
Yeah.
in which case, when you read Karen Armstrong, The Argument for God, or whatever it is, make my dad happy.
So, yeah.
So...
No, because it pretends to be real, not fiction, obviously. I missed the disclaimer at the beginning of Star Trek The Next Generation that said it was not true.
Okay, and on that note, I don't think it's ever really pretended to, like, the idea of Star Wars or any sort of these things is it's not saying, like, they don't start at the beginning, like you say. There's no disclaimer, by the way.
Well, actually, Star Wars starts with a direct non-disclaimer that says it happened a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So it tries to purport itself as true just a really fucking long time ago. So actually, maybe Star Wars needs to go in the sea for being a lying motherfucker.
I like he says, you idiots. Man, he's getting really serious. No, because it pretends to be real, not fiction. So let's just take, as you just say, just because it doesn't say at the start of it, it implies that the format, the medium pretends to be something, much like everything else.
It's
Much
like me having to fucking point out to people that this is comedy. Like,
Yeah. I'm
Jesus
sorry,
Christ.
mate.
Work
you
it out.
You know your argument doesn't work. It's if you've got something, say Star Wars, it does Star Trek. It doesn't start at the beginning. Don't forget. None of this is real. We are just actors. It starts as it means to go on. It's a weak argument, and it's made even weaker by the fact that when they jump off things and hurt themselves and actually fall off things and gravity takes a toll. And they
mate,
smash...
did you not see Finn Balor split his fucking head open on a ladder?
I don't know what you mean. I honestly don't know what you mean.
Like, seriously.
You know, it's just like...
It's an old tired argument.
It's
It's like,
super-
it's all fake, innit? It's a bit like American football's just rugby with pads, innit? It's wearing fucking pillows. It's like, yeah.
So to conclude, if fiction's your problem, there's other fictions. And if it purports to be something, so do all the other fiction media as well. None of them give you a waiver at the beginning. And if you're worrying about it being super fake, people seriously get injured doing it and it actually hurts. So I don't understand what your argument is, really.
Do you know what's fake? Birds.
Birds aren't real.
No, they're not real.
No.
That's an act of fiction. And do you know what? I was actually disappointed the other day. I watched a documentary on Disney Plus. It was about penguins.
Oh, yeah.
It was imaginatively called Penguins, and it told the story of an Adelie penguin.
Adelie penguin?
An Adelie penguin.
Let's come on a little cocktail.
Adele penguin. No, Adelie penguin. And it travelled, clear across the ice of Antarctica to find the land, the rocks, to find somewhere to settle down and mate and have kids. So they did that, and it had the plight of then it being really fucking snowy and being covered in snow, all that good shit. These real gigantic fucking birds trying to come and eat their eggs and all that kind of stuff. All nice things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that was a nice story. And the penguins all survived and it was all good. Then I watched the making of behind the scenes documentary to discover that they weren't filming the same fucking penguin the whole time at all. And they just filmed the whole thing over the course of 2 years at random intervals and then created a story with all the footage that they'd made.
Oh, so it was just like...
So it was total, utter fake bullshit.
But you had a good time.
I had a good time.
Yeah.
Because I,
That's
like
really the
most
most
reasonable
important bit.
people...
That's the most important bit.
I, like most reasonable people, can understand the difference between fact and fiction and suspend my disbelief when watching literally anything on television.
I mean, aside from all of this, and I realise that James is kind of leaning into the get into the sea vibe, because that's how it works, right? You can't say things like that aren't controversial. What's the point of doing it? But so I get why you want to kind of throw that at us, but at the end of the day, it's all a bit of a lot of fun. Wrestling, as we went to see the other day,
Oh, that was the worst fucking thing ever, but it was so much
it's
fun.
a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun to watch.
So has anything actually splooshed yet?
No.
No, but here we go. James's shit take on wrestling. There you go. For sploosh's sake.
Yeah. Did anything else get...
Yes. Aletha added, overpriced food in places that fancy themselves too much.
I suspect she's talking about John Dory, the wine place that me and her and Duncan went to the other day.
I mean, most restaurants do that, don't they? Or like, you know, upmarket restaurants. It's the old argument of, here's a quail egg and a piece of salt on a plate, and I'm going to charge you £100 for it.
The issue I don't mind so much. It has to be value, doesn't it? I don't mind going somewhere and them saying, you know, like, oh, it's 25 quid a head or whatever like that, or something like that, 30 quid a head, whatever like that. But the moment you but then to get a really good meal in a restaurant, but the moment that the meal size goes down and the price goes up, like, there's a line somewhere which I'm not happy about. We went to John Dory the other day, which is like
Tell them about the cheese, Alex.
Oh my god, the cheese! Like, I can't.
Did someone cut it? Is that the problem?
Yeah, it was bigger, and then they gave me a smaller bit. No, I don't. I just we went to John Dory. It's a wine place in Sandgate. It's got loads and loads of wines. It's a new wine, but it's not that new. But it's recently new wine bar, so you can go and try the wine.
Oh,
taste the wine.
Was it owned by the guy that gave us the wine?
Yes, it was that guy.
Place? Okay, yeah, cool.
So we went down there because I've been meaning to go down there, and we came back from me and Aletha and Duncan went to see a choir out on the marsh out in Lyddon. It was incredible choir.
Probably a bit windy, was it?
It was. Oh no, it was Friday, and so it's a terrible Duncan joke that he'd love. But at any rate, and the choir was really good, and then when we came back, we stopped in at John Dory because why the fuck not? We had a glass of wine, and it's just like there's so much expensive wine in there. That's not really the problem. Strangely, you'd think that would be the problem. Although I suspect that all their wine is already massively mega marked up, and I'm not happy about it. But then they said you can buy any wine from here, but if you want to drink it in, there's corkage of £10. So they want to sell us their own wine. It's theirs in their place.
Yeah, don't they normally charge corkage if you bring in your own wine?
Yeah.
Isn't that the reason corkage exists?
Right. So if you go
I don't know anything about wine,
Right.
but even I fucking know that.
If you go to a pub and you bring your own wine in, or if you're hosting something at a place which has a bar,
Yeah.
and so you're like, I'm having it's my parents' 50th anniversary, we're bringing in a load of champagne, and they'll say corkage £2 a bottle, and you go, okay.
Ostensibly for the staff to serve it and the cost of washing the glass afterwards.
That's if you're
and all
bringing
that
your
kind
stuff
of
in somewhere else and you're not having that. If you're buying the stuff behind their own bar, effectively the stuff on their shelf is behind the bar, right?
Yeah.
And they're saying, if you want to drink it in, it's corkage. I'm like, how is there corkage? It's yours. So something that was already overpriced at 15, that's too much.
I mean,
It's now 25.
That at least is definitely going in the fucking sea. That is bullshit.
Yeah, not having that. So then they had a little selection of foods and stuff, like they had bread and oil, had some olives, they had a kind of pate thing, and they had a large cheese and a small cheese. And the large cheese was 14 quid, and the small cheese was £8. I hadn't eaten anything, so I went for the pate, but it had pistachios in it. So
The pate lamb.
The pate lamb. So I couldn't have it because it's nuts, and I was there with Aletha. So I went for the cheese, the smaller cheese. I went for £8 of cheese, and it was 2 tiny chunks of French cheese, and with nothing to put it on. And I was like,
I've heard enough.
What are you putting in exactly?
Everything
I just said.
All of this. Probably individually, actually. I might have to.
Can I just put, I think John Dory's, like, it isn't.
But we can't let other people get away with this bullshit either. So, corkage within an establishment for your own fucking wine.
Yeah.
That's a sin.
Oh, yeah.
And then, yeah, how do we describe the cheese board? Because that is basically the crux of what Aletha said. Overpriced food in places that fancy themselves too much.
I think that's
charging ridiculous amounts for very little amounts of food. Yeah, that's also a sin.
We got there, and it's a lovely little place to be, and just drinking wine by the glass in there, I don't really have a problem with. I don't know how much exactly it was, but it was probably.
So they charge you corkage if you buy a whole bottle as opposed to a glass.
You can't buy the wine on their shelves by the glass. You have to buy a bottle. They have wines by the glass that they have selected for that day.
Okay, I mean, I kind of get, as a business owner, I kind of get it now, but I still think that's cunty. The idea is, well, we're not going to open a bottle of wine just to give you one glass, and then the rest of it will go bad because no one else will drink it.
But like, I'm fine with going into a place and them saying
What's
these are
open? These are the bottles
these
that
are the
are
bottles, and
open.
I go sure. And they'll say we've got 3. We've got like a Pinot Noir, a Merlot, and a fucking Shiraz. And I go, I have the Shiraz or whatever like that. But just being like, oh, you can have any of these, but we'll have to charge you more for opening them. But I've already bought it. It's in your pub. If I'd have bought it from next door, I'd understand it. Oh my God, I can't go back there, Jeremy.
No, well, I mean, if you go out in Sandgate, you do kind of get what you get at that point. It is what it is. We paid £6 for crisps. Fuck that.
It was a big packet of crisps,
for
but even so.
still.
I'm not... Listen, this whole thing, I'm not happy with any of it, but that was the least egregious sin at John Dory.
1 star it, yeah. I've not been there, and I'm going to leave
1 star it,
strongly
yeah,
worded
100%.
review.
I need to say something. They're nice people, but they're living in Cloud Cuckoo Land if they think that's cool. It isn't. I kind of don't believe...
£6 is like 2-3 big bags. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big bag, and I appreciate we're not in a supermarket where you pay £1, £2 for it.
But still,
I
yeah.
get that.
Let's say a bag is £1.50 in Tesco. Double the price would be
Probably pushing it.
mostly pushing it. Yeah.
There's another place along from the Potting Shed called Pulp Fiction, and that's much the same. Big old wine that you can buy there. I don't know what the corkage is. I never got that far.
I never understand how these places stay in business, honestly.
Well, they haven't been in business very long, so, I guess we'll find out.
There's a lot of turnover of bars in Folkestone, to be fair, and that's probably the reason
Here's
they
the
all
thing.
come along and do this bullshit.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I kind of feel that some of this wine isn't worth that money. I just don't believe it is, and I think that you can probably get as good wine for like £8 in Sainsbury's as you can for half of this stuff they're doing. And I remember when I was up in Manchester, I bought some wine randomly from a wine place because Martin and Captain Brilliant had gone to the beer place, so I went to the wine place and I spent £15 on a bottle of wine because I'd seen it in John Dory and I'd seen it there, so it's obviously doing around. And I tried it and I thought it was totally fine.
Yeah,
and
I mean, you've got that app that tells you the kind of the average value of a bottle of wine, don't you? And I bet if you were to do half of the stuff in John Dory, it'd be like average price £8.
Yeah,
cost here £29.
I tried to do it actually while I was in John Dory and it didn't come up, and partly that is because the signalling in Sandgate is terrible.
That's how they get you.
And some of them, if they are less well known, it isn't so quick to find the label. But well, maybe I'll look at that later. Actually, when I've done this. Fuck that! I just can't do it. I get really annoyed because I kind of want to run my own wine bar, Jeremy. That's just super honest
and literally just sells wine. He charges you for the wine,
and I just go. But I kind of just say, listen, this is how much it is because it's. I don't think it's just you'll like this.
It's like the cost of the wine to me plus 10%. That'll do.
I can say like there's a place in Marley's is what I'm talking about. In Marley's they do this great Shiraz and it's really good.
Marley.
Yeah, they do a Shiraz in there and it's brilliant. And they've nailed it. And as far as I'm concerned, if I had a choice, it'd be that one and the Barossa that I like. They're both Shiraz. They're both really good. And every time I go there, I'm like, this is really fucking good. And there's no pretension to it. It's just honestly good. And that's what I want. I want an honest wine bar that just sells stuff for like a reasonable price.
The Bourton Vineyard Elite Selection.
That's what I want. It wouldn't even be the Elite Selection, James. It would just be...
The Bourton Vineyard, it'll fucking do selection.
You'll love it. You'll like this.
Decent enough selection.
You'll like this.
Yeah. It's overpriced food that charge too much in. No, Harmstone, if you're not going to listen, you can go back and fucking watch it later.
It is in.
It's not in that wording though, so do.
What did we say?
If you're not listening, then fuck you.
Bourton Vineyard, the tricks.
I'm not repeating it. He can do the work.
That sounds about right to me.
Yeah.
I don't think we've got any more though, do we?
No. Let's move on as we bring us. Don't know what that was.
Inexorably to an end, and we do the subject. Do the segment we call "Am I the Asshole?"
Am I the asshole? No, it's the children who are wrong.
I was really taking a punt there as to whether I was actually pressing the sting because I cannot see the buttons at all. Who knows whether I'll press the right stamps when we get to it? That could be amusing.
This one is over 2 fucking pages.
2 pages?
My sandwich. Do you want me to go or do you want to go?
Which one's yours again? I think that might be a closer.
Okay.
To be honest, I think I should probably go first. You need a bigger TV. He needs a bigger TV.
Wait, that's 50 inches.
Without the shitty Amberlight. Yeah, sure.
You love
50 inches.
You do you not like the Ambilight? I thought you loved the Ambilight, or was it someone else? Someone else really loves it.
Someone else. Yeah, I love giving you a hard time about the Amberlight. That's what I love.
That's reasonable. I love Ambilight.
It's a bit pointless. Am I the arsehole?
Yeah, you don't like my Ambilight.
Fuck Shedstore.
I didn't know which one you pressed. Thank you, Dr. Fruitbat. Ambilight for life. Now you've got that button, you don't never want to stop.
One day, I'll just press the end button and there will be bits missing of the show and that will be funny.
They will.
Am I the arsehole for not letting a waitress peer pressure me like she did my friends?
Wow. Peer pressure you? Into what?
Am I the arsehole for not letting a waitress peer pressure me like she did with my friends? A group of friends and I, 20F, spontaneously decided to go to a sushi restaurant. The 6 of us all paying separately.
I love how spontaneously. That's it. Nobody, no discussion. Sushi, sushi, sushi.
Anyone for sushi?
Who like the way something happened? Like they're in a swimming pool and they were sushi, sushi. I agree, and they just all as one stood up.
Sushi, everyone? No. Fuck you, Keith. We're being spontaneous. All right then, sushi.
Spontaneous, man.
Spontaneous.
Fuck sushi store. Carry on.
The waitress was weirdly cold and bitchy the whole time. Was she sushi? That's kind of cold.
That's cold. Some of it, mostly of it.
Is it bitchy?
I don't think so.
Okay. At the end, she came round to each person so we could pay individually. She brought the payment screen around to the first 2 people, 20M and 20F. Not that their fucking age matters in this story.
No.
They paid for their initial meal costs. Then, each time the tipping screen came up, the waitress deliberately turned the screen round to face the entire table, so that all 6 of us could see what the others were tipping. It was totally an attempt to peer pressure everyone to tip high, so that we wouldn't look stingy or poor in front of our friends. The choices were 25%, 30%, and 35%. Both our first 2 friends seemed taken aback by how it was handled, and one friend muttered, "Oh wow," and both selected 35%, definitely out of peer pressure.
20, 35, is 35 the top?
Yeah. Which is...
That seems really high.
Almost half your meal.
No. Tip 10% if you're going to do that. What's the fucking... Anyway.
Yeah.
That's not an option.
Was not there, no. Now, I recently had a talk with my parents who told me that I need to grow a spine and stop wasting money tipping people when I don't have to. I have a bad habit of tipping cashier workers at takeout places when I don't need to, because I get anxiety when the screen comes up and they stare me down, daring me not to tip.
Well, if you're not meant to tip at those places, why is it even an option? But is this America?
Of course.
I thought this was America.
By God. I go to a local coffee shop every day for coffee. The tip options are $1, $2, and $3. So I often end up doubling the cost of my coffee. My parents told me to knock it off and stop being pressured. When the sushi waitress got to me, I was pissed that she was showing off the screen to the whole restaurant.
Like it.
And I started thinking how much money I waste every day tipping. I clicked custom amount, the only option below 25%, and I typed $0.
Yeah! Rise up, motherfucker. Smash the state.
Fuck Shedstore. Psh. Her eyes flashed with anger, and she looked threatening, and she snarked, "Not feeling generous today, honey?"
I hit the stunner and told her to go fuck herself.
I said, "No."
I said, I am feeling generous. You've just had my money.
Yeah, I've paid a service charge for this fucking sushi that we've had in the restaurant that we're currently in. If you've got a problem with anyone, it's with your boss who doesn't pay you a fair wage, you twat.
There you go.
She stormed by me, knocking into my chair, and showed the screen in my friend's face. I guess me not tipping gave them confidence.
Yes!
And tipped like 15%, 10%, and $0.
Good work. You've been an inspiration.
Such an influencer.
I love it.
The waitress was enraged and walked to the back aggressively, and we heard her slam something down. My 3 friends who custom tipped thanked me for what I did, because they would have wasted a lot of money tipping 35% out of fear of looking broke in front of everyone. The first 2 who tipped 35% are pissed off
Because they didn't do it.
because they tipped high out of anxiety. And it's not fair that the rest of us got out of tipping high when they had to.
It is fair.
Had to is a strong word.
You're an
You
idiot.
didn't have to. You're a fucking melt. I said they could have broken the chain if they had the confidence, but they fell to peer pressure and lost their money. Am I the arsehole?
You aren't the arsehole.
No.
Now, here's the thing. I mean, this is a big old debate we're going to get into here, but like, it's my understanding that that tipping is a thing in America,
Big time.
but I don't think it's that big. I would say you probably tip a reasonable amount. I'm not sure how it goes, but
Yeah, like 10% is kind of standard in the US, and if you feel that your service has been exemplary, then you can take that up to 20 or 25%, and that is
but
that is
35%
considered high.
auto tip.
35% is fucking insane.
That's mad. That's madness.
Yeah, you are going to be spending a lot of money doing that.
No.
Yeah. For services that don't even typically require tips, where did I say it? Yeah, that was the thing. And I got very confused when I was out in the States because I wanted to do the tipping where the tipping was a thing.
Yes.
Because, I didn't want to fuck anyone off. I wanted to blend in with the culture. And then I went to get my hair cut while I was out there for like 6 weeks, so I needed a haircut at one point while I was out there. And what I did not understand or even consider was that I would have to tip my barber.
Right. I wouldn't have thought about that.
Why the fuck would I tip a barber? Like, I'm literally paying for the thing I'm there for.
Yeah.
They're getting all that money. Why am I tipping you?
Yeah, that's strange to me.
But like, I got like, because I didn't tip, I got like.
What did they do? Put the hair back on?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they just glued it back on, pinned me down, and just fucking like tarred and feathered me with my own hair, basically.
Weird.
Yeah.
But you were going to say they gave you like a...
They gave me like such a no like, nice goodbye or anything, just such a dirty...
You didn't
like,
tip look.
fuck off look, yeah. And I'm like, oh.
But they must have just seen
like,
to them and said, oh, they didn't get it.
We were talking the whole time. Did you not hear my fucking accent? I haven't got a fucking clue what's going on.
Yeah. This wasn't just a lack of it on your part. It's just a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Like when I went to New York and I didn't really know how much to tip, I went there and I met up with a friend of mine that I used to go to school with, and he's now living in New York. And so I was like, let's meet up. And we went to this place in Greenwich Village where Jack Kerouac used to hang out, apparently. So I'm like, oh, this is so cool, blah, blah, blah. And we went there and I said, this tipping thing, how does it, what is your recommendation? He said, tip $1 with every drink. Every time you buy a drink, give them $1.
That seems reasonable.
There's three of us here tonight. If you go and get a round, drop $3. I'm with you. I understand it. And he said, trust me, good things will happen. And I was like, okay, sure. So I went over there and I said, oh, can I have 3, I don't know, beers. It wasn't beers. I don't drink beer, but like 3 beers. And I dropped $3 on it. And the guy's like, thank you very much. And then my friend went up and I went up again. And then partway through the night, they just brought out shots for us. And they just went, oh yeah. And the waiter came over and went, there you go, shot.
And that is a thing. So
and he took care of me.
Oftentimes, like in bars, your tipping will be rewarded.
Reciprocated.
And you end up breaking even, I guess. In that
yeah,
sense, but...
and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no, great. And they're like, oh yeah, you guys. And then suddenly, so I'm tipping back, and they're bringing more, and I'm like, this fucking thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I guess, in that regard, I kind of really enjoyed it, because I know
I went overboard in bars tipping because it seems more the done thing, but like. Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. I will, when in Rome, and I'll go along with whatever you're doing. Whether I agree with it, should it be just a question of like, make your food more expensive and don't have tips? Yes, what the fuck? But I don't make that rule, and that's how it's happened in the States. And you go somewhere, you learn what it is, There's no real tipping at all in like Germany. They don't really give a fuck, I don't think. And
Yeah.
they definitely don't care in Belgium. And in Singapore, there's no tipping, but they've already put on a Singapore charge and a service charge. So they're already well ahead of it. So you don't have to tip, but don't worry.
Singapore charge.
Oh my God, the
What a
Singapore
fucking
charge.
racket.
It's a real racket, mate. It's
Good
a
job,
complete
Singapore.
racket.
You pricks.
But, yeah.
Not only will we charge you a Singapore tax, we'll peddle you if you don't pay it.
That's a paddling. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan that we have tipping here.
We totally don't need tipping here because you're either paid the appropriate amount or you're not here. It's simple. Like, we've got a minimum wage, and as far as I'm
We
concerned,
should just
that's
be
good
like,
enough.
It's interesting, really, because like Captain Brilliant is very much against tipping. But sometimes, you kind of feel like, I remember I was when I had a first date with Aletha, and we went to this place for cocktails, and there was a service charge on that, and I guess my brain probably went, come on, man, the service charge on that drink, you want to stick, why don't you just make the drink £12, not £11?
Yeah.
But that was not the hill I was going to die on in that situation. I was going like, bleep, you're absolutely right. But it's a strange thing, and we've seen people like put a service charge on like a beer, so the beer was like £5, and then the beer suddenly becomes
when
like
you order from one of these food delivery
$6.70.
services, there is a service charge on what you're doing, and then they have the audacity to say, "Would you like to tip?" Like, no, I paid a fucking service charge on top of that was the delivery charge, service charge. I've already paid an extra £5 on this. No, you're not getting a fucking tip. Pricks.
Sadly, I don't know that tipping is going away, but
No, I think it's only going to become more prevalent as we descend into a fucking right-wing mad zone
the mad zone.
where nobody has any employment rights of any kind. Yeah.
I'm going to read this.
Are you?
Yes.
Well, we have to make a judgment first.
Oh, sorry. Yes, of course.
So the question was, am I the arsehole for not letting a waitress peer pressure me like she did my friends?
And I'm going to say you are not the asshole.
That is correct. Okay. Now you may commence.
Thank you. Am I the arsehole?
I will say, sorry, that if I am in a place in the UK
Yes.
and somebody has gone above and beyond their job description and provided me absolute stellar, the best service I have ever received, then they'll get a tip.
Yeah.
But if you've just done your job, go fuck yourself.
Those people tend to get a word to the manager from me normally, just to say I thought that person was exemplary, which
Yeah.
is normally what I do.
They won't gain anything from that.
I like to think that some places do. I can't be certain, but if I don't do it, they definitely won't. And sometimes these people, especially in something when they're up for a review, it's nice to be able to have. I don't know. I can't really think of anything to put in my review. But if you have said something, then sometimes people can say, well, they said some nice things.
I once emailed my friend's boss to compliment them.
Oh yeah.
To try and get my friend some kudos. And after 3 weeks, my friend had heard nothing because I was like, I just put in a good word with your manager and like let me know when
you get that filter back.
that kudos.
And it
never happened.
No. Well, I can't be certain. All I can do is what I perceive to be the right thing and go with that and see if it does come out. I remember one time we'd gone to, and Duncan the singer was there as well. We'd gone to Pizza Hut up at Ashford.
Love Pizza Hut.
And this guy was incredible. And we were giving it a load of, not shit, but we were giving it banter, shenanigans and messing around. And we were like we want Fanta and Fanta and Fanta. And I can't remember what it is. I said, there's loads of it. Just bring out a load, mate. And he came along and he brought out
with jugs.
He went, jug. And he was like, is that enough? And it was just brilliant. He was really on our level.
Fanta.
He was really good. He was fast. He was good. He didn't let us down. He kept bringing us drinks, kept refilling, not messing around. He was just, and his humor, he was really on the level. He was great. And afterwards, I went to the manager and said, can I just speak about Ted or whatever the fucking guy's name was? And he said, oh my God, what's happened? Because their first feeling is what did Ted do? And I'm
People only ever talk to the manager under negative circumstances.
Yeah, and I wanted to reinforce that. I said, no, he's amazing. What a guy. Really great. Just thought I'd drop it in. And whether anything came of that, I don't know. But I can do no more than that bit. And,
Yeah.
But anyway, I read one line in this, and I honestly don't know where it's going, but it cracked me up when I read it. But we'll see where it goes. Am I the arsehole
Yes, you are.
for kicking my son's girlfriend out of our house? Am I the arsehole for kicking my son's girlfriend out of the house?
Get the fuck out.
What's she doing in the house? I guess we'll find out. My husband, 58M, and I, 56F, recently met my son's, 24M, girlfriend for the first time. He's been crazy about her. Apparently they've been dating for a year before he decided to have her meet us officially.
Right, so something wrong then.
Yeah, something wrong with them. It's like, I don't want you to see my mum and dad because they're crazy. So we've been putting off this meeting. Maybe. What he's told us about her, all seems great. She's just got her degree, was enjoying her job, family-oriented, etc. I'm honestly just glad he's happy with her. My husband and I don't think he's ever been this into someone before, so I feel pretty bad about what I did. What did you do?
Cryptic.
Last weekend, he brought her over for dinner. By now, we'd been anticipating meeting her with how much our son has been gushing about her. How perfect she is. That she's the one, in his words.
Nice.
They ring the doorbell. We open the door. Man, if you're going to go through this description, they sat down.
They ring the doorbell. I went to the door. It was locked.
I
My keys
unlocked it.
were in my purse. I had to go back to the kitchen to
what's
retrieve my keys.
No wonder this is 2 pages.
I took the keys from my purse. I accidentally dropped them on the floor and then kicked them, and they went behind the bin. The keys were caked in the dust and the dirt that was behind the bin. There was even a banana skin behind there that had begun to rot. The keys were now caked in the banana skin and the entrails of the banana. I picked up the keys anyway because I'm like, man, it's taken me a really fucking long time to answer this door.
By the time you got there,
I left the kitchen. I tripped over the cat. The cat said, meow! I persevered anyway, finally reached the door, and then I realised, actually, no, the door was unlocked, and I could have just opened it
the door was
anyway.
unlocked the whole time.
I opened the door and continue.
Wow. It sounds like a choose your own adventure.
Fold it over, write the next line.
They ring the doorbell. We open the door.
Ding dong.
She looks exactly like her pictures. What did you expect?
That's a good
He showed us pictures, and she looks like that.
He showed us pictures, and she looked like an Instagram model. So I immediately assumed that he was being catfished. When it wasn't a 72-year-old guy with a
these
beard,
people?
I was hella shocked.
She looks exactly like her pictures, which is a good start. My son is grinning ear to ear. Another great start. We invite them in. Oh, Jesus. She accepts my hug and a firm handshake from my husband.
Yeah,
And then she opens her mouth.
nothing like a 58-year-old man shaking hands with a 24-year-old girl firmly. Welcome to the family, girl. Good to see you.
We invite them in. She accepts my hug and a firm handshake from my husband. And then she opens her mouth. I'm the one your son puts his penis in.
Nice. Round of applause for the balls on this girl.
Oh, what balls! What balls also go into his mouth? His mouth? Her mouth. Oh my god.
Queen shit, established dominance.
Fuck me. To be frank, I was appalled. I expected my husband to laugh. Both he and my son are jokesters.
Is the husband's name Frank?
Yes.
Right.
Both he and my son are jokesters and jesters. And as annoying as it can be, I love it. But this was too much for me. Maybe I'm reserved. But of all the things she could have shared about our son, she told us that. One look at my face and my husband knew how much I disapproved. Mainly because I used my disapproving look. Wait, was that not not
No,
you
that was
ad-libbing?
not. No, that is what it said.
That's the problem with ad-libbing that shit.
Is you never know what's real and what's not.
Ad-libbing, all right.
Maybe we have to put a disclaimer at the beginning of the segment to let people know whether it's fact or fiction.
No, yeah, we.
Some people have a
Maybe
problem
we should.
telling the difference.
It
don't
is
they?
hard to tell.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can all look very real. there's a TikTok out at the moment we're doing on DGMS Live. Go and check it out. It's also on Instagram. Where I do a big old fucking ad lib in the middle of it, but it is very clear that it's my bit. But no, she opens her mouth and says, "I'm the one your son puts his penis in."
Yeah, you'll know if we're ad libbing because we will say it doesn't say that immediately.
Yeah,
after
then
we
I'll
finish
normally
our
jump
ad
back.
lib.
But no, it did. No, she said that. One look at my face and my husband knew how much I disapproved. Maybe I let my expectations get too high, and it's unfair to have them. But I reiterate, of all the things to say to her boyfriend's parents, whom she'd never met.
I mean, there's worse things she could have said. She could have, like, given her a hug, like, then separated and said, "I take it up the arse."
Oh my God.
Literally, there are worse things you could say.
There are worse things I can do.
Oh, nice hug, yeah.
My son...
Your son's got a massive dick.
My son was amused at first, but when he noticed my reaction, his face dropped. I felt like he'd sold me the full package, everything he'd always been looking for in a girlfriend.
He certainly sold her the full package.
Hey!
Yes! Hole in one.
Boom. I was too disturbed by the visual it put in my head, and it translated into anger. I told her to get out. I wanted to say more about how gross it made me feel, but I fortunately left it at that.
I'll get a grip, you silly old bat.
Oh my God. My son didn't want to go, insisting I give her another chance, but I was too fed up. Fed up? Is that something you get fed up at? And uncomfortable by this point. Even my husband, who's enjoyed his fair share of raunchy jokes, wouldn't let up. What was he letting? I mean, there's nothing in here to suggest that he started to unload for him to stop letting up.
The husband enjoyed it, saw your face, and then towed the party line.
Yeah.
He Will Smithed it at the Oscars, if you will.
There you go.
That was funny. Oh shit, she's angry. Better go and slap him.
Yeah. That's exactly it. They left and I immediately felt guilty. This was something my son had really looked forward to, and I feel like I took that away over a dumb joke. I tried calling to apologise, but he hasn't responded. My husband thinks she's the one who should apologise.
No.
I'm considering giving her another chance, but before I do that, was I the arsehole?
Yes. Yes, you were the arsehole.
After one comment? Edit. I should clear some things up. My husband had no part in my reaction. I did the kicking out, not him. I don't want him taking the fall for this. He said she should apologise. But I'm not expecting an apology. Sorry for the confusion. My son lives in a nearby state. It can take about an hour to get back to where we live. He also hasn't dated anyone seriously for a while. Maybe a couple of years. He told us before that he wouldn't bring anyone home unless he's sure he wants a future with her.
As evidenced by the fact they've been dating for a year before that happened.
We've been asking to meet her ever since he told us about her, but he wanted to be ready. The comment about her looking like her picture shows my age. Sorry for that. He's only shown us her photos she sent him, as apparently didn't have any of them together. He hates taking pictures, and apparently she's always teasing him about it. I don't think he'd ever lie about who she is, but it's just a parental concern I've subconsciously had. I felt the same way about my daughter's then boyfriend when we first met him. I don't have any criteria that either my kids' spouses need to meet. I just hope my kids are happy with them. Evidently, some people are like, why have you worried about, much like I said when I was like, why are you worried about the fact that they don't look like them? What I meant by her being the full package was indicative of what he's told us about her. As his parents, we have a good idea of what he looks for in a
I looked
partner.
her up and down. Nice tits. Great ass. Total package.
And she checked off everything based on what we've been told. So basically, he said...
Has face? Check.
He said, I want these things. And she's like, well, I'll be the judge. When she walks through that door, I've got a list of the things that he said.
I will look her up and down and
2
make that
ears,
judgment for myself.
1 nose, hair. Talks. She talks.
It's human.
On
It's
top
not
of
blow up
everything,
doll.
on top of everything, aside from what she said, her appearance was how she presented it to be. God. Again, we aren't strict
What does
about...
that even mean?
I don't know, but we aren't strict about appearances. It sounds like you are.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got a very particular view of how people should look, and...
It's just a relief, she says, to have met someone for the first time, and they looked like what you'd expected. My husband said I was worried about second-hand catfishing. Second-hand catfishing?
What?
You're either getting catfished or you're not. You can't get catfished for someone else.
Second
You
hand.
can't get catfished if I get catfished. Is that, but I'm going to go out with someone, and then I tell you all about them, and then you expect them. I'm like, oh, she's blonde.
Yeah, it's
and
like
she's
you tell me that you're basically dating like Pamela Anderson or whatever.
Yeah, and then
you turn up and it's fucking John Cena.
it's Usain Bolt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like doesn't look at all like the photo.
That second-hand
I see what that
catfishing.
crazy bitch is talking about.
I guess it shows how anxious I was about this. Also, thank you for the comments and rewards.
Rewards?
I've had a few people reach out to me personally too. Thank you for that. Regardless of where you stand, I appreciate it. I personally think everyone needs some room for improvement here, but I've done my part to make amends. Have you? And I'm waiting on my son to call me. I'll be sure to give an update about how it goes. So she comes in. I mean, this is a long old story for basically...
Yeah, okay. So the crux of it is she comes in and says, I'm the girl your son puts his dick in. Which is an outrageous thing to say on literally the first words that come out of your mouth
that is
to
balls.
your boyfriend's parents. But is that a kick out, like basically disown offense? No.
No.
It's a shit joke. You should just say, that wasn't very funny, love. Try again next time and move the fuck on.
I think it would have been hard if anyone had ever said that I took home to see my parents and said that. God, I can't imagine what they would have said. My mum would have said, well, that's all very silly. My dad would have gone, okay, thank you for that.
My mum would probably have said, good stuff. When are the grandchildren coming?
I just don't know anyone that would ever say that. It's just... Most people, when they meet friends for the first time or like family for the first time, are so careful about making a good impression. You must know that won't make that good impression.
How did you expect that to go?
What part of your brain went, this is a fucking winner?
Yeah. Bit weird. But the op also grossly overreacted to the situation.
They both... I think she made a mistake there, but like there's a massive overreaction. I don't know if everyone sucks, but I kind of feel
I
like
think it might
do.
be an everyone sucks.
I think they do.
For posterity,
Yes.
Did I leave the note on there of what Reddit thought?
Yeah. You said Reddit judgment, not the arsehole. They thought that this woman is not the arsehole for kicking him out of the house.
I think she is definitely an arsehole for kicking her out of the house.
I agree.
But also, so's the dad for just enabling her bullshit and towing the party line.
Yeah.
And so she for being so fucking dumb to say that on the first thing.
Don't say that. How did you think that was going to go?
Yeah. How was she going to reply? Like, good on him.
Great. Let me know how that works out.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll do it later. I mean, honestly.
Yeah. I think the
so
only
cringe.
reasonable judgment is that literally everybody sucks here.
I concur. Well, it's been a very religious show. We got started a lot.
We did.
About religion. Thank you so much for coming in.
It was the genesis of our ranting, if you will.
Yes. Yeah.
And
many revelations.
And next week we'll fire up the old Twitch machine and do it all over again.
We will next Tuesday after Easter.
Yes. Which is, checks notes, a religious festival?
It is very religious. Very religious.
Blaspheming mostly, well.
I mean...
Potato.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. There was a religious lesson in there somewhere.
Oh,
talking about the Synoptic
There
Gospels.
was definitely a lesson in there.
Some lessons for all of us.
Yeah. I learned that Pontius Pilate wasn't a disciple, for example.
He was not. No. No.
He instead... flew planes for Jesus. Is that it?
Yeah, that's what he did.
I'm guessing from your reaction that's not right.
Fly planes for Jesus.
Yeah.
Someone had to fly planes for Jesus.
His name was Pontius, and he was a pilot.
He was like the prefecture for Galilee, so basically doing what he's told to keep the locals in line.
See, I understood what I said. I have no idea what you just said.
Mm.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we fuck off?
We should fuck off. We'll look and see if there's anyone worth raiding. Feel free to throw your ideas into the chat.
Yes.
We'll probably ignore them, and we'll see you next week. I'm going to kick it old school, if you'll indulge me.
Feel free.
Say something funny man.
Oh, wait, what? That was a surprise. Wait, is that funny?